Hello, welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. 20 Op FLS. Chapter 421. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Although only the beige-haired old man spoke alone, the rest of 5 elders obviously meant this, otherwise they wouldn't be silent after the beige-haired old man finished speaking. Gangukong, Sengoku, and Zephyr knew for a long time that 5 elders and world government were very afraid of these O'Hara scholars who could not only interpret historical texts, but also analyze the 3 ancient weapons. Before receiving the notice to encircle Luyun, the fleet assembled by Marine Killing Demon Order was going to O'Hara. It can be seen that 5 elders and the world government are determined to eliminate O'Hara. Regarding the tacit understanding between 5 elders, Gangukong, Sengoku and Zephyr will naturally no longer question. However, during the time they went to encircle Luyun, what happened to make 5 elders so anxious to eliminate the island of O'Hara and the scholars on the island? The 3 of Gangukong were very curious about this. You should know that the entire marine fleet had just returned from the extermination of Luyun, and there were still a lot of bad things on the road, and now it is going to set off in a hurry, which is really too hurried. The knowledge of Gangukong about O'Hara is also what 5 elders revealed to them. The information on the weekdays shows that O'Hara are only archaeologists who have no power to bind chickens, not even scientists. More detailed reasons are probably only known to 5 elders and celestial dragons. Very well, I hope you remember. Eliminate evil and destroy the enemy quickly. The beige-haired old man was very satisfied with the reaction of the Gangukong 3 people. For the Gangukong trio, who knew exactly what Tu Mo Ling was like, they could naturally hear the meaning of the warning, and they could only nod their heads and say yes. In that case, Gang Bone Kong, how many warships do you think is more appropriate to take to O'Hara? As soon as the conversation turned, the scared old man headed by 5 elders suddenly mentioned marine forces. Seeing the smiling face of the old man with scars, the steel skeleton suddenly burst into the hollow, knowing it's not good. Immediately pulling Sengoku Zephyr together to plead guilty, when it comes to political consciousness, these 3 people are not bad. Advertisement. Lord 5 Elders, I am entrusted by a negative adult. Marine has suffered a lot of casualties during this trip. How come? You successfully defeated Luyun thieves. It is the greatest achievement, no matter how much sacrifice is worth. As for those things, Deadpool has already reported to us, this matter is left to the world government to investigate. Don't worry about Marine anymore. I will inform CP0 to intervene. The old man's scar was meant to take the opportunity to beat Marine seniors, but seeing these 3 people so witty, the old man scared his thoughts. After all, these Marines will still be needed to run errands, which is not good. Furthermore, Luyun has the ability to truly kill them who have eaten the fruit of upgraded life. When Luyun died, the remaining 5 elders breathed a sigh of relief. Marine should remember a great achievement. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This. Thank you, sir. For the attackers hidden in Marine, Gangukong and Sengoku both wanted to capture them with their own hands. Both Gangukong and Sengoku couldn't wait to kill the man, and the intervention of 5 elders made them very dissatisfied. Unfortunately, what's the use of dissatisfaction? The arm can't twist the thigh, but the 2 did not intend to give up, but decided to secretly investigate. Sengoku and Gangukong exchanged glances secretly, and there was a plan in their hearts. Don't talk about these irrelevant things, Gangukong, tell me how many warships you plan to take to O'Hara. The old man's scar found a far-fetched reason and turned the topic away. It doesn't matter what it is, Sengoku and Gangukong sounded angry, but they had to show a calm appearance on the surface. Gangukong thought for a while, raised 2 fingers, and said, 20. Before the sound of the 10 character was finished, there was a muffled hum from 5 elders with white beards and hairs, and an old man with 2 beards. Gangukong immediately sent a general 10 and swallowed it back, saying, 100, 200 warships. Advertisement. Well, Marine has a cautious marshal like you, which makes me feel relieved. I want to come over 200 warships, even a fly can't get out of O'Hara alive. The old man scared and said with a chuckle, he did not want to praise Steel Bone Kong, but changed the method to make Steel Bone Kong's military order. In the end, Gangukong and Sengoku still pinched their noses. In addition to the congratulations at the beginning, 5 elders regained the attitude of being aloof and treating people as ants. At first, the Gangukong trio thought that 5 elders' private interview was to commend them in advance, so as to win people's hearts. In fact, Ganggukong three people guessed the beginning, but did not guess the process and the end. The commendation meeting drove and turned into a trial meeting. It was either slapped on them or asked about the situation and assigned tasks. Half an hour later, in such a tormented atmosphere, the three of Ganggukong ended the interview with sweat. Okay, you go back and have a good rest. At the commendation meeting tonight, I will announce your great contributions in front of all Marines. The old man Scar achieved all his goals and waved his hand to let the three people go down. The three of them were relieved and saluted and left, just wanting to leave the room quickly. When they reached the door, the three of them were stopped again. Gang Bone Kong, I heard that you mentioned Garp to Admiral. The bald old man who had not spoken, the one controlled by Chin Luo with distinguished heavenly gods, suddenly spoke. Advertisement. 0. The steel body is a bit hard. He knows that 5 elders had spoken today to prevent Garp from being promoted for the rest of his life, and he was there that day. My lord, Garp's rank is still a lieutenant general. That's just for the convenience of Garp to lead the team and was temporarily given the title of admiral. Ganggukong said cautiously in a cold sweat. The real situation is indeed as Ganggukong said, Garp's admiral is just a title, but at that time, it was an urgent decision to eliminate Luyun. Usually other marine generals also continue to call Garp as a lieutenant general. Oh, is that right? Of course, your lord. And Garp has done a lot in this crusade against Luyun. Then Garp should be rewarded. He doubled his merit and replaced it with a reward. Increasing Garp's pension by 5 times is a special reward from me. The bald old man shook his hand pretendingly and decided Garp. Of incentives. The face is like a gnawed bone from a local rich man's charity to a stray dog. The rest of the 5 elders wondered at first why the bald old man should suddenly mention Garp. They hadn't discussed this person at all when they discussed it. But after listening to what the bald old man said, the rest of 5 elders laughed. Garp, they naturally have the impression that one lieutenant who smashed them and didn't know how many pounds he was. This kind of person 5 elders hadn't arranged him clearly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 422. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The contemptuous laughter was unusually harsh in Sengoku's ears, and Garp was Sengoku's best brother. Now that his Sengoku brother is being teased and mocked like this, Sengoku only feels a puff of blood rushing to his forehead with anger. Sengoku's fists clenched, the veins on his forehead violently, his teeth clenched together, and he made a slight, chucking sound. Sengoku did not expect that Marine, who returned from victory, would be beaten like this by 5 elders. I didn't expect that 5 elders, who was so high, would have such a small belly. Up to now, he still holds grudges against Garp and keeps wearing small shoes for him. I never thought that 5 elders would be so decisive. Garp would kill Luyun if he said that he did it, and he didn't care about Garp's life and death for Marine and the world government. 5 times the pension, is there such a humiliation to a hero? This is not to imply that Garp will retire quickly. This is too unfair to someone who has dedicated most of his life to Marine. If this happened, I don't know what other Marines would think of Garp's jokes. Sengoku felt that his emotions tended to run out of control. Fortunately, Zephyr who was next to him noticed Sengoku's strangeness, and quickly pressed Sengoku to calm him down. Then I will first thank Master 5 Elders for your kindness in place of Garp, and I will tell him later. Ganggukong thanked him gratefully, with joy in his voice. It seemed that he was actually receiving a huge reward in place of Garp. Advertisement. Then Ganggukong took Sengoku and Zephyr and left quickly, walking later in the future, but he was uncertain about what mobs would appear. I never heard you say that you want to mention Garp, and it was a temporary sensation. It's not good, after all, it's a bit of credit. After the 3 people of Ganggukong left, the beige-haired old man asked the bald old man. Dao. His face clearly showed a good smile on his face. You didn't stop it. The bald old man didn't think the other party really cared about Garp. Stop. Why stop? A lieutenant who knows nothing about life and death. It is the greatest gift to him that he can stand up to us and live to this day. It was the white-bearded old man who was speaking. When he said that, the eyes of the white-bearded old man didn't open, but the domineering arrogance rushed toward his face. Haha. I mean the same thing, just a lieutenant general. The beige-haired old man laughed. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. In the eyes of five elders, Marine is just a tool in their hands. It is a group of watchdogs they feed to better keep the world in captivity. How could the emotions of these beasts be put in their eyes? Even the lieutenant general is just a dog with sharper teeth. Even if Garp is the best of these lieutenants, isn't he just a dog? As the owners, they are still not arbitrarily rubbing and arranging for a dog they raise. You guys, these people have just returned from victory after all and helped us get rid of Luyun. Actually, we shouldn't be like this. I am worried that it will be a bit too late. The old man Scar said leisurely. Advertisement. The rest of five elders really knows the character of his elder brother. Obviously, he has always been the most cruel of their five brothers, and his face is also very hideous. It just happens that every time he pretends to be kind and benevolent. But in fact, like the series of beatings on Marine just now, he basically proposed and planned it out. By the way, big brother, is Lu Yun really dead? The question was the beige-haired old man. Zheng Jin witnessed Lu Yun killing the old man with a sword, and the shadow of Lu Yun was the deepest in his heart. Of course, the corpses have already been sent to naval headquarters, don't worry about it, later you go and see for yourself. The old man Scar was a little too lazy to answer this question, obviously not the first time he was asked this way. Lu Yun was not dead, and Marine and Zhang knew the bald old man in the room most clearly. After being dropped by the distinguished heavenly gods, the bald old man and Xin Luo have always had a certain feeling. Not only was the distinguished heavenly gods not lifted, but the feeling in the heart of the bald old man has not disappeared. All bald old people can pack their tickets, and Lu Yun is not only not dead, but also alive. By the way, brother, there is one more thing. Why don't you tell Gangukong about their Red Earl? I heard that Gangukong's disciple died because of this. If we tell Gangukong should be able to spontaneously go to the Red Earl's trouble. This time the question is the bald old man. He is supernatural, powerful, knows Marine's plans and arrangements, can transform into other people, and likes to move at night. After thinking about it, I don't think other people have this similar ability. This Red Earl has become more and more courageous and ambitious. He even dared to intervene in Marine's high-level changes, and put chess pieces and puppets in Marine. Isn't this openly digging Marine's corner? As he said, the bald old man became slightly angry, crushed the teacup in his hand. Advertisement. I don't know what you said. It's just that the Red Earl is currently cooperating with too many forces, including us. Therefore, this person is still unable to move for the time being. If he wants to make a move, he must take a thunderous blow and put him behind him. Uprooted by the roots, he will not give him any chance. The old man scared said there was a pause and closed his eyes. When he opened his eyes again, a bright light emerged from his eyes, and he continued. However, since the Red Earl dares to use the flowing clouds to calculate us, we won't let it fall without saying anything. Doesn't it appear that we are good bully? As soon as Lu Yun dies, we will be ready to deal with Xin Luo. No matter how uncomfortable Lu Yun and Xin Luo are, they always come from one place. We will let the Red Earl and Xin Luo and the mysterious family dog bite the dog first. People from CP0 to CP9 released news saying that the Red Earl was spying on Lu Yun's family bloodline and designed Marine and Lu Yun, causing Lu Yun to die. A good way, whether Xin Luo and the mysterious family believe it or not, dare to mix sand in front of us, the red 2.8 colored Earl will have to pay the price. The bald old man clapped his hands even more after listening. Although I don't know what Xin Luo did, the wonderful connection will make the bald old man involuntarily do things that are beneficial to Xin Luo, including the heavy buckling of Marine's attack on the Red Earl. In the evening, five elders commended all Marines who participated in the encirclement and suppression of flowing clouds in the largest square of naval headquarters. All the generals received generous awards and medals, among which Gangukong, Sengoku, Aokiji, Akainu, and Kazaru contributed the most. The latter four are privately called the next Marshal and Admiral by the Marines. On the same night, a piece of news about Lu Yun's death, and that the Red Earl, who had disappeared for the first time in a year, came out of the mountain to calculate the death of Lu Yun, went viral in the world. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 423. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Extra. Extraordinary. The mysterious man Red Earl shot, Marine successfully defeated the evil thief Luyun. The next day 5 elders' messages were published in newspapers all over the world, and the shouts of newsboys spread to every corner of the streets. Luyun's death became another hot topic after Roger's public execution and was talked about by countless people. I heard that the god like Luyun is dead, it's true or not? Your news is too late. Everyone knows it. The newspapers in the morning are all talking about it. Conversations like this take place in many bars. Hey, I heard that the world government will publicly decapitate Luyun's body in the Holy Land Mary Geois in some time. A man with a hat in the tavern said mysteriously. John, you're bragging again, which relative told you this time? The people on the side teased John, and they didn't believe it at all like this I Have a Friend series. John was red-necked and wanted to argue, but no one wanted to believe him, they were all making jokes of John. It's John this time. I heard about it from my cousin who works as an editor at the newspaper. The newspapers are already in print, and you can see it tomorrow. A middle-aged man who was well-dressed walking into the bar. Everyone has to be convinced a lot about what this person said. It's impossible to behead even the corpse. I've never heard of it. World government hates Luyun. Advertisement. Others also want to know that they placed a glass of wine in front of the middle-aged man, and John, who had been questioned before, looked at the glass of wine with jealousy. As soon as he heard some news, John ran to the tavern just because he wanted this glass of wine and the feeling of being surrounded by everyone. The middle-aged man had a clear mind and thought through his mind, but he didn't even have the idea of giving up the wine to John. What should be his is his, and charity is needed wherever he is. The middle-aged man drank the wine comfortably, and said softly, if I don't believe others, Luyun will be different. He has destroyed the Holy Land and blackmailed the world government. Otherwise, he will be called the greatest evil after Roger. Where's the thief? The execution of Luyun's corpse by the world government is not classified as confidential. The specific execution time was set on the day when the Marine fleet returned from O'Hara. On the day of the execution, the world government also intends to invite all forces from all over the world to come to observe the ceremony, and then take the opportunity to push the momentum of Marine and world government to the extreme. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. In a certain area of New World, the Phoenix Marco returned to the Whitebeard pirates with the newspaper of the day. Father, something has happened. Luyun is dead. Marco rushed directly to Whitebeard and handed over the newspaper in his hand. After reading the newspaper, Whitebeard said with a complex expression, how true do you think this incident is? It shouldn't be wrong. Marine has told the whole world that it is said to be publicly beheading Luyun's body. Marine does not need to lie in this regard. And behind Luyun's death there is the shadow of the Red Earl. Marco asked himself. All the information that arrived was revealed. Earl Red. This is a dangerous person. After a year, he appeared and made such a big move. You should be careful of this person. As for Luyun, please wait and see first. Whitebeard's attitude towards Luyun is actually more complicated. Luyun has blackmailed the Whitebeard pirates, injured Marco, and also saved the Whitebeard pirates from destruction. Advertisement. Whitebeard had a hunch that Luyun was not dead. Whitebeard, who has seen how powerful Luyun is, clearly realizes how terrible Luyun is. This gap in strength can be made up by the number of marine stacks. At the same time, the Big Mom pirates and Kaido's Beasts pirates also received news of Luyun's death. After confirming the accuracy of the news, the Ant directly ordered the desert, the 4 commanders, and took the numerous pirate groups to the Fishmen Island. Before leaving, the Ant said, you will not only seize the power of the Fishmen Island, but also seize Luyun's men and women. I will entertain them to relieve my hatred. The Big Mom pirate group's action this time is not kept secret, and all the pirates in the New World who have a little way of knowing it. However, other forces are still on the sidelines for the Fishmen Island cake and did not intervene. Blue Brew. Hey, this is Doflamingo. Well, I see. Somewhere in New World's island, Doflamingo received a call. It has been 6 years since Doflamingo went to sea in 1496. During these 6 years, Doflamingo has worked hard all the time to become a person above man. Relying on the sinister and cunning in his bones, the ruthless Doflamingo not only made a name for himself in the North Sea, but also passed his name to the realization of many caring people. A former celestial dragons who is now a great pirate, how interesting. Young master, who is calling you? Doflamingo's hardcore dogleg Toripal stood by. Advertisement. The bastards of world government actually said that they would ask me to manage the public decapitation of Luyin's corpse. Haha. That's so interesting. Doflamingo laughed wildly, thinking of the scene he saw during the execution of the pirate King Roger. Luyin's unmatched strength left him too profound. The young master doesn't plan to participate. Yes, maybe there is a fraud. Toripal remembers the fact that the Doflamingo family wanted to restore the celestial dragon's identity but was rejected. No, I have to take part in such a fun thing. Doflamingo laughed and finished, and suddenly said gloomily as if he had changed his face, "Help me contact the Red Earl. This old fox has disappeared for so long. This time I will definitely see it. No small, we can cooperate with him." Neither Doflamingo nor the Red Earl are complete pirates, they are more like weapons dealers, killer organizations and mercenaries on the sea. However, the Don Quixote family is a team, and the Red Earl is a person. Without mentioning the outside, Xin Luo returned to the Fishman Island with Lu Ju and Taodu. As for the fake Albia, he disappeared when Ryayun was besieged by Marine's strongest assembly order. Xin Luo explained everything to Lu Ju and Taodu on the way. So in addition to the title of pervert, Xin Luo was given a new perversion by Taodu. Floating cloud god, you can count as coming back, and it is said that you have died in Marine's hands. Marine is too damn it, spreading rumors out of thin air. I will immediately go out and tell the world the truth. As soon as Luyun returned to his residence on the Fishman Island, King Neptune ran over to see him. No hurry. Don't you understand? The world is not clear by mouth, only by fists. Xin Luo had his own plan. Isn't Marine going to execute his body publicly, then give them a surprise? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 424. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The god of flowing clouds, what are your plans? Since the false information that you are dead, the pirates on the Fishman Island have become more and more restless. The talking King Neptune showed a twisted look on the side, she was just an aggrieved little daughter-in-law. When did the Murloc King become like this? Is this still the Knight of the Sea, who would rather die than surrender to the enemy before? Surface Knights. Neptune, Xin Luo has a kind of rush to misunderstand people. Neptune feels bitter. Since the opening of the undersea tunnel, more and more pirates have entered the Fishman Island. The Fishman Island gradually replaced the Chambord Islands as the center of pirates gathering and trading. The problems brought about by this change are equally obvious. The Fishman Island army, which was inadequate before, has no way to deal with more powerful pirates. So the original city defense of the Fishman Island gained a mysterious inheritance from another world and became a glorious city management. The army has become a late police. On weekdays, the pirates are afraid of the floating clouds that protect the Fishman Island, and they are more restrained. The Fishman Island's army can barely handle it. However, recently, the pirates have become more restless, and are stirring the bottom of the Fishman Island step by step. Had it not been for the Sun Pirates, headed by Fisher Tiger, Jinbei, and Aaron in Murloc Street, these pirates would have rioted long ago. Advertisement. Even so, Neptune knew that the days of pirate riots would not be far away. Just some jumping clowns. I was too kind before, and riots. I've stopped these guys who are hiding in the center of the Fishman Island at once. Xin Luo, who has been in the world of pirates for some years, has seen all kinds of pirates, and has also seen the true colors of the pirates. No matter what kind of brotherhood, the nature of these people is desperate desperados for money and power. Most pirates are unfamiliar white-eyed wolves. Xin Luo brought them free access to the New World Subsea Tunnel in the second half of the Grand Line, which is more convenient and safer. Xin Luo gave them the Fishman Island, which is convenient for trading and resting. There is no celestial dragons and no marine. The pirates accepted the blessings Xin Luo brought, but they would gather like sharks smelling blood when they had the opportunity. This time Xin Luo is about to chop off all the claws that reach the Fishman Island, killing 100. Okay. But the god of flowing clouds, the Fishman Island's guarding power is not enough. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Claiming to the outside that the strength of the army under his hand is poor, it is not much worse than calling others incompetent, let alone the convective cloud god. Neptune didn't want to speak, but he was more concerned about the lives of his people and he couldn't take care of face. I know what you mean. On the way back, I have notified Itachi and Hidan that they are back. If there is a difficult situation, they will take action. Shin Luo considered Itachi and Hidan, plus staying in the fishmen. The island's 9 tails and Tsunade, even if the 4 emperors came, shouldn't matter much. Master, you call us. As soon as Shin Luo finished speaking, the figures of Itachi and Hidan appeared in the corner of the palace. Advertisement. Neptune was startled when he noticed the sudden appearance of sounds and figures in the palace. But seeing Itachi and Hidan breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't know the strength of Hidan, but he saw with his own eyes 9 tails and Itachi defeating Cracker and Katakuli among the 4 stars of the Big Mom pirate group. Hidan wears the same windbreaker as Itachi, and is a member of the Floating Cloud Pirates, and his strength is not too bad no matter how you think about it. Well, you will stay at the Fishmen Island for a while, and the group of pirates below may be uneasy recently. It is up to you to discuss with Tsunade to decide whether to take action. Shin Luo saw that everyone was there. The order was issued and Tsunade was appointed as the person in charge. After all, Tsunade is someone who has worked for Naruto, this business should be more familiar. When discussing business matters, Tsunade is very serious. She shouldn't interrupt her without saying a word. Suddenly I heard Shin Luo mention her name, and handed over the safety of the Fishmen Island to her. Tsunade's heartbeat speeded up suddenly, feeling that Shin Luo was staring at her with burning eyes, and a blush appeared on his face. Hey, that's it. By the way, how is the collection of devil fruit? Shin Luo's words are not only asking Itachi and Hidan, but also Neptune. It's been a while since he left the Fishmen Island this time. I don't know how devil fruit is collecting. He is now very short of points. 5. Itachi took out 5 devil fruit directly. Hidan was looking out the window and whistling, obviously without gain. The performance gap between the 2 salesmen is a bit big. Luyunshin, the recent brutal attack on Celestial Dragon's charging service business is still very good, but the payment with devil fruit is much less. Neptune has been afraid to take the initiative to raise this matter. He can see that Luyunshin attaches great importance to devil fruit, but not interested in money. But this kind of thing is beyond his control. Sure enough, Shin Luo had long foreseen that the charging service of Celestial Dragons is very popular, but once there is no freshness at the beginning, the number of customers who eagerly use devil fruit as payment will become less and less. He must find a stable harvest of devil fruit. Way out. Otherwise the system is a bottomless pit. Then talk about it later. Shin Luo ended the meeting and asked Itachi and Neptune to take back devil fruit, which was not enough for devil fruit to stuff his teeth. Advertisement. After everyone left, Tsunade hung directly on Shin Luo's body from the front. What do you mean? Why do you want me to be responsible, and you want to leave without taking me? Will you take me this time? With the whispering voice of Tsunade, the 2 indescribable objects on Shin Luo's chest, and the faint fragrance, Shin Luo almost surrendered. As the so-called wave has not yet settled, wave has risen again. Shin Luo's back was also bombed by an unknown organization. Taotu Trot hugged Shin Luo from behind with inertia and speed, and 2 nuclear bombs exploded directly behind him. Sister Tsunade can't help defending the Fishmen Island, but you will take me, right? Taotu's voice and exhaled air sprayed directly on Shin Luo's ears. Faced with such a sure field, Shin Luo said that it does not matter if he comes back a few hundred times. The first one who couldn't hold back was Shin Luo's little brother. He only hoped that the 2 enemy troops could abide by the international conventions and treat prisoners kindly. Taotu is generally more arrogant, and she wouldn't have made such a kill without Tsunade really taking the initiative. It's a pity that Taotu will be disappointed this time. Peach Rabbit, this time you are also staying at the Fishmen Island. I have to go to more places next, it is not convenient to bring people. This is the truth. Since the fake Olivia disappeared, Shin Luo completely lost Olivia's clues and could only look for it everywhere. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 425. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. This time, no matter what tactics Taotu and Tsunade use, whether it's acting like a baby or threatening, Shin Luo didn't relentlessly agree to take them with them. Because of the rush, Shin Luo didn't even plan to take this comfortable luxury submarine with Rabu. No matter how fast you can pull the cloth, Shinluo moves instantaneously fast, isn't it? So after transferring the monster King Ivan and others who were in Rabu's body to the dungeon of Dragon Palace, Shinluo gave Labu a vacation and asked him to talk to other people in the sea about whale life and ideals. Shinluo has few clues about Alvia. In the past few days, he has been inquiring about Alvia through various means, but nothing has been gained. For this reason, Shinluo specially found an opportunity to meet the bald old man in Five Elders, and as a result, even Five Elders did not have relevant information. Alvia seemed to have evaporated. Shinluo doesn't know whether this situation is good or bad. Five Elders has no relevant information here, which at least shows that Marine and world government have not caught Alvia. Shinluo's last clue was the intelligence from Golden Lion. In all likelihood, Alvia left the Sky Island to rescue the 33 crew members. The 33 crew members were thrown by the Golden Lion on the side of Impel Down. If these people were not dead, they would have been imprisoned in Impel Down. It seems that the next investigation will start with these 33 crew members, and perhaps some useful information can be obtained. 813 Just right, Shinluo remembers that there is also an acquaintance of his own in Impel Down. Thinking of this, Shinluo raised a wicked smile at the corner of his mouth. After a few months, Shinluo revisited his old place and came outside Impel Down. In the next second, Shinluo teleported to Magellan's room through the power of the Overlord of the Sea. Advertisement. At this moment Magellan had just finished a round of patrols and was resting in the room. Magellan, I haven't seen you for a while and have become the director of this prison, and you can act fast enough. But don't you plan to thank me for the benefactor who helped you move to the top of the mountain? There was a sudden sound in Magellan's room, and Magellan jumped up from his chair in shock. Magellan was too familiar with this voice. Just a while ago, the owner of this voice came to Impel Down like a nightmare. After severely destroying Impel Down and letting go of a large number of vicious prisoners, he drove away. That was the biggest prison robbery in Impel Down's history, and it was also the shame of Impel Down. Magellan searched around, but still couldn't find where Shinluo was hiding. Drops of cold sweat came out of his head. As if watching Magellan's embarrassment enough, Shinluo appeared slowly. Where are you looking? I haven't seen it for a few months, but I haven't improved much after being promoted. Shinluo spoke from behind Magellan with a slight mockery. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. I don't know when. Shinluo was already sitting in the chair Magellan just pushed away, and was flipping through a document casually. Flowing clouds. Seeing Luyun unknowingly appear behind her, Magellan had a fear of being pinched by others for her life. Tremblingly, he wanted to say something in the scene, but he stopped because of a look in Luyun's eyes. Magellan swallowed, and then said respectfully, "The god of flowing clouds is coming back to Impel Down. I don't know if there is anything that requires small effects." Advertisement. Magellan is also a bachelor, and now his poisonous fruit hasn't grown up, and he doesn't have the strength and confidence after more than 20 years. Seeing an existence as strong as Luyun is like seeing a cat's mouse, and it's just as persuaded as it was then. Luyun came to Impel Down to look for him, there must be something. As long as he is good enough to serve this master, such a big man will not bother to kill me. As for Marine, if he doesn't say it, will Luyun still be everywhere? Shouting. After thinking these things through in his mind, Magellan realized a completely cooperative attitude. Yes, I like talking to smart people the most, so you don't have to talk too much. Shinluo saw that Magellan went on the road like this and saved him the time of torture, and went straight to the subject. Are the members of the O'Hara ship in Impel Down some time ago? I want to take them away. Upon hearing O'Hara, Magellan recalled all the recent information about O'Hara in his head. Floating Cloud God. Are you talking about O'Hara's 33 crew members? Magellan asked, and after getting Luyun's correct gesture, he continued, I don't know where Luyun God obtained the information, but 33 people are not in Impel Down now, and have never even been to Impel Down. 3 days ago, these 33 people disappeared together with the Lieutenant Admiral who escorted them. Disappeared. What's the name of that lieutenant? Shinluo suddenly remembered that there was indeed such a lieutenant who was helping Alvia escape from Marine, and there seemed to be a D in his name. Haguval D. Saren. Sure enough, Shinluo figured it out after getting Magellan's answer. This Saren must have known something too. This time Alvia was not caught, so he let go of the 33 crew members. Since there is no news about Alvia, As long as Aldia is not secretly caught by other forces, there are only two possibilities. One is that Aldia has joined Saren and the crew and hid together. Advertisement. The second is that the two groups did not have a round, but Aldia already knew that the crew was rescued. But no matter what it is, Marine's demon-slaying order fleet has already been sent to O'Hara, so with Aldia's character, it will sneak back to O'Hara secretly. As long as there is a direction, Shin Luo will find a lot easier. Whether it was looking for the 33 crew members or Aldia, it was much better than before, like a headless fly. As for the authenticity of Magellan's information, Shin Luo did not dare to fake it. Without warning, Shin Luo, who had obtained the information, disappeared instantly. After sending away the god-tier Luyun, Magellan exhaled heavily and collapsed directly on the ground, her legs still trembling. I just felt like I was spinning around in hell, then stepping back again. There are not many routes from Impel down to O'Hara in the West Sea, and there are only a few islands that can be called on the way. The West Sea is too big. Even if he can call Sea Kings, Shin Luo doesn't think he can find Aldia and others who are evading Marine's search. Therefore, Shin Luo intends to search these islands, not going to O'Hara. Shin Luo's first stop is a small town near the entrance of the West Sea to the Grand Line. It was originally a small fishing village, but because it was close to the entrance of the Grand Line, it slowly developed from a distribution center for merchants and pirates into a port town. Although it is not as serious as a port city, it is still quite lively. But when Shin Luo teleported over, what appeared in front of Shin Luo was a ruin. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 426. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The busy and lively town became devastated, and various buildings were torched under the flames. Looking at the appearance of the ashes, it was obvious that the disaster released here was a matter of days ago. Except for a marine warship docked in the whole town, no other living people can be found in the whole town. In order to avoid unnecessary trouble, Shin Luo did not go to the town, and the town turned into ruins directly eliminated the need for Shin Luo to search. Such a small episode will not affect Shin Luo's search plan, and Shin Luo teleports to the next target location as soon as he thinks about it. Shin Luo never imagined that more episodes would become the main theme. Not only the first target location, Shin Luo's second, third, and fourth target locations were all turned into ruins when Shin Luo teleported past. Shin Luo realized that this matter might not be that simple anymore. No matter how cruel pirates and thugs were, they would not continue to slaughter the city. Advertisement. Generally, these port cities and villages are inextricably related to the pirates, and they are usually the places where the pirates supply supplies, and even many of the pirates' hometowns are in these villages. Therefore, it rarely happens that the whole place of residence will not survive forever. Even if there is, it will not be so cruel. Not only is there no benefit to doing such a thing, it will also lead to crazy pursuits by marine and world government. What is the power that did this kind of thing plotting? Shin Luo also discovered one thing, that is, in all the places where the victims lived, no matter if it was a village or a town, no bodies could be seen. Shin Luo thought that someone had cleaned it up at first, but Shin Luo did not find any new graves. There has never been an international organization that helps people collect corpses in the world of pirates. Shin Luo scratched his head and sighed with emotion for a while, and then stopped taking care of it. At present, the main goal is to find Aldia. However, after this series of strange things happened, there was another element of instability in the West Sea. Aldia's situation became even more dangerous, and she had to be found as soon as possible. Shin Luo's fifth target location was a small fishing village that deviated from the main route of the West China Sea. However, Shin Luo considered Aldia, who avoided Marine, to come here to supply supplies, so he chose it as one of the targets. Before the sun went down, Shin Luo finally saw a village that had not suffered a disaster. As a modern person who was once and now, Shin Luo suffered from a strange disease called, cannot sleep without a bed and pillow. This disease can only be cured during class, and there is no cure at other times. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Shin Luo is planning to stay in the wild for one night in the teleportation meeting Dragon Return City. Shin Luo changed into the clothes of an ordinary trader and went to the village to find a place to live. The people in the fishing village are very simple. Qin Luo only used a few thousand baileys, and the villagers cleaned all the outsiders in the village in the past few days just like pouring beans. You can really do whatever you want with money. If Qin Luo wants to, the villagers can tell him what color underwear those outsiders wear. Advertisement. Wait, these villagers seem to have something, not as simple as they thought. It took an hour or two to send away the last enthusiastic uncle who was like a bustard. Qin Luo still didn't get any news about Albia. In the following days, Qin Luo went to many islands, villages and ports. Some Qin Luo were in ruins when they arrived, and some were intact. Qin Luo found that as long as the settlements on the main route of the West China Sea, none of them ran away, and they were all in ruins, while those far away from the main route of the West China Sea were basically safe. The main route of the West China Sea has become a death route, constantly devouring cities and lives on the route. Bad rumors have spread throughout the West Sea in the past few days, including the unidentified forces that slaughtered wildly, and the marine fleet bound for O'Hara. The port city Chitose City, the capital of the Nora's kingdom, is also the largest and most important port city in the West Sea. It is the intersection of several major routes in the West Sea. Whether it is pirates, marines and merchant ships, they will choose to supply and trade here. The kingdom of Noras has become very rich because of this city, completely surpassing ordinary kingdoms in military power. This is also the reliance that can hold the fat piece of West Sea Port City. In this city, marine and the pirates coexisted peacefully, at the request of the kingdom of Noras. This is a wonderful thing in the West Sea. Speaking of which, the reason why this city is called Chitose City is because the appearance of the entire island looks like a 1,000-year-old bastard. Qin Luo floating above Chitose City couldn't help but think so. This is the only city that Qin Luo has seen on the main West Sea route that hasn't turned into ruins in the past few days. Given the location of this city, Albia and the 33 crew members would not be able to bypass it if they wanted to return to O'Hara. Qin Luo intends to search for Albia in this city. There are 6 entrance ports in Chitose Castle, which correspond to the glands, tail and limbs of the bastard. The glands port is the port of the Nora's royal family and the army. The tail is reserved for the marine and world government. The limbs are open to all civilians, merchants and pirates. Advertisement. Still in the clothes of a businessman, Qin Luo turned himself into a fat businessman with a big belly through the ability of the physical body to reach the highest level. Qin Luo does not intend to appear as Qin Luo or Luyun this time. These will cause unnecessary trouble. These two identities have basically been spread throughout Marine. 0. Although it looks a bit awkward now, it also has benefits. The fat head and big ears, the body is wide and fat, the invisible neck and the thick gold chain of the thumb are all businessmen, or the kind of wealthy upstarts. In fact, there is a more specific description. When Qin Luo saw his new appearance, the word, dead fat house, popped out of his mind. The atmosphere of Chitose City is very solemn at this time. Unlike a normal port city, the sea fortress is more appropriate. Marine, Kingdom Army, and pirates all set up defenses on the edge of the port city. As for what they are being wary of course it is an unknown force with a lot of murders. But is the entire West Sea already at this level? The pirates and marine have cooperated together, and Qin Luo was fortunate to witness this strange phenomenon before entering the city. The behavior of searching for Albia should not be too obvious. In addition to marine, there are obviously many forces in the city that are also searching for her. The 3 ancient weapons do have this charm. Qin Luo showed his richness on the first day in the city, packed a lot of spices in one go, and hired several teams of bodyguards. Anyway, there is no need to pay on the spot, just pay a deposit, and Qin Luo just pretends to be a big Israeli-Palestinian wolf at will. After telling people in the whole city that I am not short of money, Qin Luo found local snakes and intelligence organizations. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 427. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Buying an intoxicating bar, the destination of Qin Luo's trip, is also the store of the largest gang organization in Chitose City. It operates many businesses such as intelligence, assassination, kidnapping, extortion, and loan sharking, with a good reputation and perfect after-sales service. Coupled with the faint shadow of the Nora's royal family behind it, it can be said that it is a century-old brand. This is what Qin Luo asked when he hired a bodyguard. Stop. Go there, fat pig, some places are not accessible to everyone. At the entrance of the bar, Chin Luo was stopped. The 4 guards at the entrance of the bar stared at him with ugly faces. Since the change of appearance, the frequency of being despised has increased. For these people who die, Chin Luo has always focused on education, supplemented by beating. The specific operation is also very simple. Chin Luo took out a bag of barley from his arms with great skill. This is not a bribe, but the medical expenses of the first 4 people. Give me, the one who works hardest. As soon as he finished speaking, the 2 bodyguards behind Chin Luo and several bodyguards pretending to be passers-by all surrounded. You can't make a move. This is a bar for drunken people. Whoever dares to make a move will wait to die. Seeing that the situation suddenly got out of control, the 4 huddled together to keep warm, trying to threaten to retreat the crowd of bodyguards. Bodyguards can't be more familiar with this kind of scene, and I don't know how many times they have experienced it in the past 2 days. At the beginning, they still had some worries, but that's what they did more. Advertisement. Anyway, the boss is rich and has the means, every time in the end, which forces not always sending them away like grandson to grandfather. Moreover, if the boss is satisfied and the wages can be processed, the fight is over. 4 dogs, this is your medical expenses. Chin Luo kept the bag of barley still on the ground, bypassing the 4 beaten into the bar. As soon as he entered the bar door, a male waiter greeted him. Dear guest, our boss is waiting for you in the VIP room. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chin Luo nodded and motioned to the waiter to lead the way. The VIP room is not far away, from the stairs behind the bar to the 2nd floor. The doors and walls of the VIP room are relatively thick, at least it can give people a feeling of good sound insulation in the room. This distinguished guest, do you want tea or wine? There was an old man and a waiter in the room. After Chin Luo entered the VIP room, the old man sitting on the sofa asked. Chin Luo took a quick look at the VIP room. The interior design of the entire room is quite magnificent, whether it is a chandelier or a bar, it is embedded with gold rims. Although it is a bit vulgar, it is also hinting that the guests here should not give out rewards that are different from their status. It's expensive. Chin Luo's answer obviously made the old man and the waiter stunned for a moment, and he didn't even come into contact with such a guest before. According to the customer's instructions, the old man, the boss in the waiter's mouth, was the first to react and instructed the waiter who still didn't know how to do it. I don't know what happened to the customer finding the shop. The owner of the bar didn't mention the beating at the door, he was a good businessman. Advertisement. Inquire about a person's intelligence, Nicole Alvia of O'Hara. Don't betray you. Recently, there must be more than one force asking you to inquire about this information. I want all the information, and you can quote a price. Chin Luo was too lazy to follow along. Wrangling in various ways, directly telling what you are coming for. I don't know which force the guest represents, I'm under Huom and Norez. The bar owner did not directly answer Chin Luo's question, and Ji Yu left and right introduced himself. And the owner of the bar turned out to be directly a member of the royal family, but I don't know what kind of status he is in the royal family. A few thoughts flashed through Chin Luo's mind, and then he threw it aside. Why do you have to ask about the origins of all the customers who come to your store? This boss really knows how to do business. Don't even ask about employer information. Chin Luo choked back and looked at the bar. The boss's eyes revealed a kind of contempt for the country folks. The bar owner knows that Chin Luo belongs to the kind who can't talk well at all, and the few words that come in are not answered. Cough cough. Naturally no need. I just want to make friends with the distinguished guests. The bar owner secretly said that he has good self-cultivation. He hasn't freak out. He wants to round the field but sees Chin Luo no response. Secretly cursed, the bar owner had no choice but to continue. Nicole Alvia does have intelligence in his hands, but 2 million Baileys are worth the price. If you are angry, you must continue to buy and sell. The owner of the bar knows that he cannot offend a lot of unbelievable forces recently, and he does not dare to mention Chin Luo's price. Otherwise, if he is retaliated later, he probably doesn't even know how he died. Chin Luo directly took out 2 baby fist-sized pearls and put them on the table and rolled towards the barkeeper. There are many pearls of this size in the Fishman Island, but only the people of the Fishman Island can collect them. Therefore, these medium and large pearls are of great value on the Grand Line, and they are relatively rare in the remote West Sea. An average one costs 1.1 million Baileys. 2 pieces of money are enough for intelligence. Advertisement. The owner of the bar took Pearl and directly told the information after verifying the authenticity. Nicole Alvia was seen in the southern part of Chateau City a few days ago, but no one can be found when she goes there. But one thing is certain, Nicole Alvia is still on the island. Recently, various forces have been extremely severe in searching people going to sea, and the other side has no chance to go to sea. Chin Luo listened to the barkeeper, his fat fingers tapping gently and rhythmically on the table. If there is a recent intelligence to send someone to inform me, you know where I live, and the price, you will not be disappointed. After a while, Chin Luo got up and left a sentence. The moment Chin Luo left the VIP room, the table that Chin Luo had knocked on turned into a pile of powder. As soon as Chin Luo entered the room, he was ready to give the bar owner a slap in the face. First, use repulsive force to break the table 2.7 into powder, and use gravity to keep the table original. When you leave, the table will be destroyed when the gravity is taken away, giving people an unpredictable feeling. After doing all this, Chin Luo went straight away. The real man never looked back at the explosion. South District, where slums and gray areas intersect. According to Chin Luo's knowledge of Alvia, this woman's hot and bold temperament is probably still hidden there. Those who dare to play in the dark under the light are all bold people. Obviously Alvia counts as one. Let me find it for a while, but I finally caught your tail. Chin Luo muttered in a voice that only he could hear. After coming out of the bar to buy intoxicating people, the 4 of them have disappeared. Only some blood left on the ground proves that something happened here just now. Chin Luo waved his hand and asked the bodyguards to follow him back to the hotel. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 428. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Buying an intoxicating bar VIP room, the table turned into powder makes the room fall into silence. The bar and the boss looked at each other, but the boss's wry smile broke the calm in the end. An incredible big man has arrived in Chateau City. Let me inquire about the house of the fat man just now, and send someone to send it to him as soon as there is news about Nicole Alvia. The bar owner touched the 2 pearls in his hand, completely devoid of appreciation for the treasures, and only felt that they were 2 hot potatoes. The bar owner decided to leave for the palace immediately. Some things need to be discussed with the king. Forces like Chin Luo just now have been 8th in the past few days. The increasingly prosperous business did not make the bar owner happy. Because of the arrival of Nicole Alvia and the approach of unidentified forces that caused countless disasters, Chateau City, which has been peaceful for many years, has once again fallen into a vortex of turmoil. And their Nora's royal family must step by step, as long as they are not paying attention, they will become a scapegoat for the confrontation between the big forces. Some time after Chin Luo left, a carriage galloped towards the palace from the back door of the bar. Chin Luo took the hired bodyguard back to the hotel where he was staying. He didn't rush to find her after knowing that Alvia was in the city of Chateaus. Besides, Chateau City is the capital of the Kingdom of Noras, and it is also a huge port and commercial city. Its size and population are not comparable to that of a small fishing village. Even if it is only in the Nanchung district, Chin Luo wants a person to find Alvia deliberately hiding in the crowded sea. It is like looking for a needle in a sea. Those bodyguards hired must not be used to find Alvia. Asking these people to help them would only expose themselves to everyone, and no force would dare to do so blatantly. You must know that Alvia is still Marine's wanted criminal, the kind of high bounty and urgent. Advertisement. Do you really have to find it slowly on your own? Chin Luo frowned. He has a lot of abilities, but it is suitable for the current situation and it is really not convenient to find someone. Chin Luo couldn't help looking at the system. Since the last time he rode the Golden Lion into the Marine headquarters, Chin Luo obtained a batch of devil fruit from Marine, but it hasn't been credited for a long time. Instead, he lazily exchanged some things and spent it. There are only 35,680 points left on the system panel. How many points are needed for the next ability upgrade? 120,000 or 110,000? Anyway, it is out of reach. I asked Alvia in the system to provide status services. Chin Luo is ready to be slaughtered. Last time, the system had some 20,000 points inexplicably pitted. Oh my god. Host, have you returned to your original appearance? You really are a fat house. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Shin Luo feels that after each upgrade, the system is not only more and more user-friendly, but also less and less beating. But it doesn't matter host, the system will not dislike host, as long as I blindfold it, it's okay, don't worry. Shin Luo has no love to face. Stop joking. Seriously, can you help me locate Alvia? Sure enough, host has even changed his preferences, the wife, or the kind with children. Host, I will give you a tactical helmet, the green one. In reality, the teacup in Shin Luo's hand has been crushed to pieces. The system hasn't expanded the business of positioning function, please do it yourself. Shin Luo said that he was so angry that his sleeves were rolled up. Now tell me you can't help it. Advertisement. In the end, the system still provides a solution to prevent Shin Luo from breaking the net and report it to the top. Although the host is not good at finding people, it can use the summoning ability to summon someone with the ability to find people. This is a way to help me list a few people who are capable of finding someone. Okay. A. Sage of 6 Paths. B. Uzumaki Naruto 6 Paths Mode. C. Looking at the series of zeros exchanged for points under these characters, Shin Luo directly interrupted the system. Just list the ones that I can afford now. Oh. Say it early. In the end, the system gave Shin Luo two choices, the Uzumaki Xiongling with 15,000 points, and the Ninja Dog with 200 points. Tsunade only needs 25,000 points, why does Uzumaki Xiongling, who is incompetent, has 15,000 points? Because Xiongling is not only a girl, but she can also get her juice to heal when the host is injured. Of course it is more expensive. Then tell me which one do you choose for host, beauty or dog? Shin Luo looked at Uzumaki Xiangling's points, considering the system's ridicule, and finally gritted his teeth and made a choice for his own reputation. That's right, Shin Luo finally chose to summon 3 forbearance dogs. Uzumaki Xiangling's healing ability is basically useless by himself. The 15,000 points is a huge sum of money for him now, and he can't afford to waste it. Woo, the dog is so cute, why does host treat the dog so much? Ignoring the words behind the system, Shin Luo forcibly closed the system interface after summoning 3 ninja dogs. After a while, Shin Luo's system customer service seems to have a problem. Advertisement. The ninja dog is there, and the next thing is the lack of items with the smell of Alvia. After thinking about it, Shin Luo thought of one thing, the text of history. With 3 ninja dogs teleporting to an unknown uninhabited island, Shin Luo sent out the historical text in the space. Alvia had some contact with it when interpreting the historical text, and he must have left when he wanted to come. Some smell. 913. Half an hour later, in an unattended alley in the southern district of Chateau City, 3 bulldogs sprang out, frightening a hawker beside him. Otherwise, it did not cause any fluctuations. The poor are not as good as the rich dogs. Who cares if there are more dogs in this slum area? At the same time, Shin Luo, dressed as a wealthy businessman, went out and walked towards Nanchung with his bodyguards. What? Shin Luo is going to find Nicole Alvia with great fanfare. No, the fat man said, his hands are itchy and he is going to gamble. The casinos in Nanchung district are waiting to wash their necks. Shin Luo looked like he was going to make a fortune, but he didn't notice the caring and mentally retarded look in the eyes of the bodyguards around him. These bodyguards thought to themselves that this pig-like boss would not lose all his money, and their rewards have not been paid out yet. Nanchung is an area at the corner of the entire Chateau City, far away from Marine and the palace, and has become the best place to breed darkness. After development, it finally became an area where slums and gray areas were mixed. Often on the side of a very prosperous road are those dirt houses that are messy and dilapidated on the verge of collapse. The entire Nanchung district is very crowded, but I have to say that this is the most Tibetan place. After shopping for a while, Shin Luo chose a casino to enter. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 429. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. This casino is not big and has no special features. There is only one reason why Shin Luo entered this casino. At the edge of the casino, he saw one of the 3 ninja dogs that he had released. Did Alvia ever show up here? Shin Luo flashed this thought in his mind and walked away from the casino. He had to take a good look at what was going on in this casino, so that Alvia would appear here. It's just staying and hiding, or it has another purpose. The interior design of the casino has the feeling of a nouveau riche, and it is incomparable to the VIP room of the bar. Most of the people who come to gamble here are businessmen with free money. People who are rich and have status will not choose to come here. In the opinion of Qin Luo's bodyguard, Qin Luo's presence in this place is a bit uncomfortable with his status as a big businessman. And this kind of casino doesn't want the kind of formal, generally not very clean, will do some small moves, it will be a little troublesome to be targeted. Although the bodyguards are not too willing, who makes the fat man their boss? Because of poor ventilation, the air in the casino is full of smoke. After Qin Luo's group came in, many eyes, intentionally or unintentionally, fell on Qin Luo. They looked at Qin Luo, from the fat body, the gold necklace with the thick thumb on his neck, the expensive clothes to the gem ring in his hand. Coupled with Qin Luo's appearance of Brother Pig, it resounded in these hearts like the whispers of the devil. Me, Qin Luo. People are stupid and have a lot of money, come quickly. Advertisement. The eyes of the people in the casino gradually changed, it was a look at the fat sheep. So under the attention of all the people, the fat sheep sat on a table the size of a gambling with such a grin. It's not that there are not enough gambling methods in the casino, on the contrary, it's just that Qin Luo is only good at it. It is not only easy to bet on big or small, Qin Luo also used him to pit Tsunade. As for Qin Luo, who is a novice gambling player, has won Tsunade for the remaining 50 years, Qin Luo attributed this to Tsunade's first law. The law shows that as long as Tsunade starts to gamble, she must lose in the end. For this kind of existence similar to the laws of nature, what can Qin Luo do? He is also desperate. Ordinary casinos don't need to exchange chips, just cash money. Qin Luo bet on any size, his focus is no longer on gambling, but to check the entire casino situation, and of course he did not forget to manage his own facial expressions. The pig brother still has to continue, and he has to spend a little bit of arrogance. Alvia is not here to gamble, so is it possible to hide his identity and work in the casino? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. For example, online casinos, beautiful croupiers. Hey, why did you sing it? Qin Luo wondered if Alvia was pretending to be a waiter and a croupier. After watching it, there was nothing at all. Also, being a croupier and waiter will be noticed by too many people, which is not good for Alvia to hide himself, so is it working in the background? Qin Luo thought this in his heart, wondering if he could go to the back of the casino to have a look. Qin Luo's thoughts were interrupted because a hand was reaching his waist. Advertisement. During Qin Luo's thinking, Qin Luo has successively lost more than 200,000 Baileys. Although there are times when he wins, he can't stand the dealer's methods. Who made Qin Luo bet the most every time, without frowning even after losing, the money in his arms went out like an endless stream. And a pickpocket became the first person in this casino to attack Qin Luo, the fat sheep. What are you doing? There are thieves in the casino. A shout made the whole casino quiet. Who would have thought that Qin Luo, who had just looked stupid, suddenly grabbed the thief's hand? The thief was still holding Qin Luo's wallet around his waist, which can be said to have been stolen by someone. Damn it, isn't Xiao San a 100% success rate? How come he misses when the goal is a fat pig? On the second floor of the casino, the person in charge of the casino said to the casino security captain on the side. It sounds like this thief is raised by the casino at all, and stealing fat sheep is also one of the regular businesses of this casino. Haha. Who knows, maybe this fat pig is carrying too much money, and the little third has slipped his hands. Then it's time for me to play. Poor fat pig, how good it is to be stolen, just to save his life. The security captain of the casino, to put it bluntly, is the gold medalist of the casino. Words of pity were on his lips, and a cruel smile appeared on his face. Ah, guest, we have never seen a thief in the casino again. Is it a misunderstanding? You ruined the casino's reputation for no reason, which makes it difficult for us to handle it. As soon as the security captain appeared, the black and white turned upside down, not to mention. Regarding the thief, he also said that Qin Luo was here to smash the scene. I'm reporting, Brother Wolf, this dead fat pig is 1,000-year-old. After the security captain finished speaking, the thief who was grabbed by Qin Luo's wrist shouted directly, and released the hand holding the wallet, and a few pieces fell out of the wallet. Dice. The thief moved quickly, and Qin Luo couldn't help but glance at the thief. If he dared to steal things from the gods, he really had a few hands, and it was worthwhile for him to do, the thief, in the light of the gods for a while. The security captain showed such a look, and the thief showed a face of fearlessness and awe-inspiring justice. Qin Luo will be conquered by this kind of acting. Ask him to say that in this casino, there have been more than once or twice such performances. Advertisement. Qin Luo is really the first time he has heard that he can still use dice to make a lot of money when he is not a dealer. This kind of boring reason is like condemning Qin Luo. It is basically that the casino has made a clear position to do something. Look at the eyes of the gamblers around, no one believes it. Basically, they look at lively eyes, gloating eyes, and disappointed eyes. What the hell is this disappointed look? It's not that I also wanted to make a move but was preempted by the casino. All the actors in a casino are acting. At this time, the system prompt should sound, get advanced knowledge of acting. So a group of thugs in the casino surrounded Qin Luo with guns. As for Qin Luo's bodyguard, he flees directly in front of many guns. Qin Luo also put on a timely look that I am afraid of death, don't shoot, I am rich and very background. Qin Luo also wondered how he could go to the back of the casino and see the owner of the casino by the way. Now everything is done so naturally by the people in the casino, Qin Luo doesn't need to make a big noise in the casino, just show off his acting skills. Qin Luo was invited to the small room of the casino by a group of casino thugs. The owner and some persons in charge of the casino were also waiting there. This scene was seen by countless gamblers, and they couldn't help but see the picture of the fat pig being dragged into the slaughterhouse. But unlike them, what Qin Luo had in his mind was the image of Little Red Riding Hood and Grandma Wolf. He was the wolf. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 430. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After meeting the owner of the casino, Qin Luo's good temper ended here. When this casino is ready to take action against Qin Luo, their fate is already doomed. But I can't bear it. Some people think that their lives are too long, and they always want to provoke Qin Luo. Dead pig, go hurry up. The thief who was caught by Qin Luo during the pickpocketing was angrily sprinkled on Qin Luo's body this time. Perhaps Qin Luo is already dead in his heart. It's not enough to just speak. The thief called Xiao San'er straightened his foot and kicked Qin Luo's waist. If an ordinary person suffers this blow, not to mention the problem of waist injury, the strength alone is enough to make people lie directly on the ground. Everyone in the room watched this scene with interest, and no one came out to stop it. Well, Qin Luo sentenced it to death for this unclear black casino. With this kick, Qin Luo drew away at random, and at the same time made the thief even more angry. The thief pulled out the gun hidden in his body and pointed at Qin Luo's head. Are you very flexible? You're a fat pig, but if you don't want to eat bullets, you will be beaten obediently. Qin Luo ignored the thief, and when the thief hadn't finished speaking, he said, who gave you the courage to attack me and led me to the small room behind? Advertisement. Qin Luo directly changed to another tone, which surprised the people in room 157 a little, and then laughed all over the room. Haha, fat man, it's too late to be equipped with aura now. When you enter this room, your life will no longer be yours. Lick my shoes clean, maybe I can save your life. The thief approached with a grin. Qin Luo kicked again and was avoided by Qin Luo. Little San'er, just shoot it, as long as you don't kill it, this dead fat pig is too capable of jumping. Speaking of which, I have grown up, I haven't seen a pig killer yet. I just witnessed it once today. The people in the room thought they were aloof, and they were determined to win, and they were discussing how to rule Qin Luo's death. A group of jumping clowns. Qin Luo didn't control his voice, so he said so, which naturally attracted the unkind gaze of everyone else in the room. With a sneer, Qin Luo closed his eyes, and when he opened them again, they were replaced by a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan. The one who raised the gun at me just now, break your arm first. Qin Luo gave an order, and the right arms of the bodyguards in the room broke in unison. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. With Qin Luo's current ability, there are many ways to cut off the arms of these ordinary people. In the end, Qin Luo chose a more bloody way, the powerful repulsion turned into an invisible sword, and finally the target's arm and bones were chopped off. Blood splashed on the wall, staining the entire room blood. Many tragic calls echoed in the room. But because of the good sound insulation of the room, it didn't spread much. As for you, Mr. Thief, I am honored to tell you that you are now a thief. How dare you try to steal things from God? In addition to your other acts of blasphemy, I pronounce you will be punished by the flame as a sinner. Advertisement. At this time, the thief had been so scared by the sudden situation that he almost lost consciousness. He didn't even notice the strange place Chinluo called himself a god. With black flames, Amaterasu was released by Chinluo to the thief. A single spark turned into a prairie fire, and the whole thief was enveloped. Amaterasu's black inflammation was devouring the thief's flesh little by little. The hoarse wailing disappeared the moment the thief's throat was burned. This soundproof room used to cover up the screams of prey has become the last place for these people to bury their bones. The battle ended very quickly. After all, the gap between these ordinary people and Chinluo was too big, and the second kill was not excessive. With a flash of body shape, Chinluo came to the casino owner and brought up the casino owner who had never had a chance to speak. Now, let me ask you a few questions, do you know? In order to survive, the casino owner nodded and said yes. Next, Chinluo asked some questions, such as have you met Nicole Aldia? What business do casinos do? Has the casino hired new people recently? Is there anything strange happening in the casino? There was not much useful information at the end. Aldia had never appeared in the casino, and no new recruits had been recruited. There are a lot of things about committing crimes, but nothing has to do with Aldia. The only peculiar thing is that a thief came to the casino a few nights ago, but after the thief turned the box and turned the cabinet, he took nothing away. Chinluo is almost certain that this thief is Aldia, and only in this way can she explain why there are traces of her visit in this casino. Judging from the description of the casino owner, Aldia should be searching for something. What is it that will make Aldia touch the casino door even at the risk of getting caught? Chinluo is puzzled. Advertisement. After questioning, Chinluo planned to use illusion techniques to modify the memories of the casino owner and the few surviving thugs. Chinluo came to this small room in cooperation with the intention of not making too much noise. Therefore, except for the thief, like the gold medalist Wolf brother and the casino owner, Chinluo saved them a little life, but only took one of their hands. Chinluo sat in his seat, waiting for the casino owner and others who had received illusions to wake up. In the memory that Chinluo gave to several people, Chinluo broke out with great fighting power and beat a group of people to the bottom. The disappeared part of the thug and the thief became a bad choice to escape, but in fact the ashes of these people were under their feet. I think you are also a boss. As long as you can come up with a price that strikes my heart, I won't hold on to what happened today. Chinluo's greasy hand raised the casino owner again. Chinluo meant to let the casino owner's wealth and disaster disappear. The casino owner who ran into the nail had to pinch his nose to recognize it. So the circulated version became Chinluo, the guy who pretended to be a pig and eat a tiger, not only came out of the small black house of the casino alive, but also completed the black eat black with a gorgeous counterattack. After receiving 50 million Baileys, shock fee, fatty, Chinluo left the casino contentedly. Well, when he got more proficient in his business, he immediately changed to another one, so he repeated his skills. Chinluo didn't enter the casino casually. The casinos he entered were all places where the ninja dog had discovered the smell of Aldia. The news from these casinos is basically the same. Aldia is indeed looking for something and has not found it yet. After a day's time, Chinluo became completely famous in Nanchang district. Good people call him a master of pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. But people who have met Chinluo don't think so. They think Chinluo is just a pig and doesn't need to be dressed. Perhaps it is the fruit of the ancient longhair pig of the Eudemon species, which is what many people guess. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 431. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The 3 ninja dogs summoned were not bad to use, on the contrary, they were too powerful. In the end, there were at least 10 casinos in the entire southern district that had the atmosphere of Aldia, and her activity area encompassed a full half of the southern district. If Qin Luo continues to toss according to his previous behavior, all the casinos in the southern district may unite to boycott him. And Qin Luo's frequent visits to various casinos have attracted the attention of other forces. Qin Luo doesn't want to take risks. If other forces are attracted to discover Alvia earlier than him, it will only be even more annoying. At the end of the day, Qin Luo decided not to go to those casinos during the day, but to leave quietly at night to search for Alvia, who was active. With the efforts of ninja dogs, Alvia's possible hiding place has been compressed to only a quarter of the Nanchang district. With this range, Qin Luo is confident of real-time monitoring. A bright crescent moon hung high in the sky, and the bright and soft moonlight shed lightly. The sea breeze from the West China Sea blows a few clouds, with a faint smell of sea. Qin Luo just sat on one of the 80 square meter clouds. In front of him was a small table with small wine and a few dishes. Drinking alone under the moon is Qin Luo's pastime while searching for Alvia these 2 nights. Advertisement. Yunbei is unusable in Qinghai. Even if someone wonders why the cloud hasn't moved, they won't suspect that there will be a person above the cloud. The cloud layer is confined by Qin Luo with the power of the overlord of the sea, and if he walks on the ground, he uses the long-lost, repulsive force absolute realm. Since saving Roger's fleet a long time ago, Qin Luo has never used this trick again. The task of searching for Alvia does not require Qin Luo to stare at him personally. Numerous small summons summoned by Rinnegan lurked in areas where Alvia might haunt. The eyes of these summons showed the form of Rinnegan just like Qin Luo at this time. As long as there is any movement, the field of vision in front of the summoned object will be synchronized with Qin Luo's eyes. I ran into Alvia a little bit earlier last night, so I had to sit for another night today. Looking at the dim lights in the city at the foot of the distance, Qin Luo restored to his original appearance wearing a pirate Chinese and Japanese kimono. Sipped the little wine and complained loudly. Qin Luo is not worried about being seen by others, unless Golden Lion also arrives in Chateau City, otherwise no one among the pirates will fly to this height without problems. Even the Red Earl, who claims to be the lonely god, can't do it. This is just a courageous gangster who hides in the darkness and the beams of the house and calculates others. Pretend to be a means to reach the sky, and there are endless tricks. In front of Qin Luo's eyes is also an ambitious underdog who can't see the strength gap. Speaking of the Red Earl, Qin Luo remembered that this man's goal was also Alvia. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Qin Luo couldn't help but squinted his eyes and carefully looked at Chateau City under his feet. Earl Red should be in Chateau City now. I don't know where he is hiding. Since the Red Earl has the courage to take a shot against Alvia and set up Qin Luo, he must be prepared to be settled by Qin Luo. Qin Luo couldn't help but think of Marine's addictive remarks, and his eyes became even worse. As time passed slowly, more and more streets were extinguished and plunged into a peaceful night. Alvia's most likely event time has also arrived. Advertisement. At the back door of a casino, Alvia, dressed in black, was hidden in the shade of the trees, and her long silver hair was caught. This is the penultimate one. If there is no such thing in the 2 casinos, it can only be in the palace. Alvia's voice was extremely soft, and he sighed at the end. Obviously something happened to her. Very unwilling to happen. Alvia's skill is good. With the help of Kojima's Fengbei and Xiangbei, the 2-meter-high wall and the windows on the 2nd floor can be easily read by her. No wonder Alvia is able to enter and exit the major casinos so freely, even if these casinos have strengthened their manpower. For a polymath and practical person like Alvia, whether it is a physical obstacle, an optical infrared anti-theft device, or a variety of sophisticated locks, it is meaningless in front of her. Alvia's behavior seems to confirm the sentence, study mathematics, physics and chemistry well, and you are not afraid to travel all over the world. At least you can be a thief if you learn more. Nothing. Except for a devil fruit, the open safe was a variety of gold bars, jewels, banknotes and land deeds. The only booklet was turned over by Alvia. It was a list of debts and IOUs. Neither the money in a cabinet nor the devil fruit, which represents power, was seen by Alvia. Without finding the thing, she was going to close the safe again and pretend to leave without incident. When the safe was relocked, the automatic mechanism made a click sound. This voice appeared so obvious in the silence of the 2nd floor. Who is inside? The bodyguard patrolling on the 2nd floor slammed open the door of the room containing the safe. After the bang, the lights on the second floor were lit, and more people gathered around. But there was no such thing as Alvia in the room at this time, only one window was opened. Advertisement. Catch the thief. The thief ran outside and chase it. At this time, the casino owner also ran in, unable to hide the financial room, and the open windows, all telling others that the thief had run away. 0. Under the orders of the boss, a large number of casino security and thugs were dispatched to look for thieves. People from other casinos nearby also sent people to search together after hearing about it. This thief has been attacking the casino several times recently, and other casinos have been rushing to death. After discussing it, once they saw the thieves, they all mobilized. For a while, the casino that Alvia had sneaked into, several blocks around, were caught up in the catching thief activity. This kind of commotion can't hide Chin Luo. In fact, it was as early as when Alvia jumped over the wall and entered the casino. Alvia was discovered by a summon hidden on the corner of the street and synchronized to Chin Luo's eyes. Chin Luo hasn't moved, just want to see what Alvia is going to do and waiting for an opportunity, the hero's chance to save the United States. It must be said that Alvia's subsequent infiltration and unlocking behaviors made Chin Luo very surprised. This was a thief who was delayed by archaeology. Even after being discovered, Alvia's response was very calm. After everyone saw the open window, they thought Alvia had fled into the street. But no matter how many people they dispatched, they couldn't find Alvia, and they didn't even touch the shadow of the thief. Because at the moment the bodyguard hit the door and came in, Alvia hit the door and hid in the next room. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 432. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After discovering that the thieves had invaded, everyone's attention was focused on the safe and catching the thieves. No one paid attention to the situation in the room next to the safe. Waiting for the casino owner to confirm that nothing was missing, did he think of asking people to check other rooms. But at this time, Alvia, who had enough time, had found a good hiding place for herself. The room next to the safe is an accounting room. On weekdays, the casino's finances will be calculated here and the booklet with the IOU and the list will be handed over to the casino owner to put it in the safe. The room is not big and the furnishings are simple, with a few closets for storing documents and desks with cabinets for office use. The people who came to this room checked the closet and under the table, and left after making sure that there was no one. After the visitor left for a few minutes and was sure that he would not come back again, a slight noise came from the cabinet attached to the table. Then Alvia got out under the table, breathing heavily under her voice. Just now, she had been holding her breath for fear of causing some noise. It's not that the people here didn't check it carefully, but that no one would have thought that people could be hidden in the cabinet of the table. The cabinet on the table is not big, and it is barely possible to put a child in, not to mention that it is divided into 3 floors. Alvia also noticed that the cabinet of the table is the kind that is easy to disassemble and install. After finding it, he cleared the contents of the cabinet and took the cabinet apart and hid in. People who come in for inspection only need to pull the cabinet, and they will find that there is an outer shell in the 3-layer cabinet. Advertisement. If he was found hiding in the cabinet, Alvia would not even have a chance to run. Alvia also made the decision after weighing the pros and cons. This is a big gamble. I bet that the people who come in to check will not be too careful. The bet was won and escaped for a while, but the bet was lost forever. Fortunately, Alvia won. But this is not the point. The point is how Alvia squeezed in such a big place, especially the majestic peak of the 36D. Chin Luo really wants to know whether Alvia has mastered both the bone reduction technique and the tube chest technique at the same time. It's not right. Tube top Dafa doesn't seem to be able to achieve this level. Unless Alvia's one is inflated or cushioned. No, Chin Luo can swear with his own hands, that feel is absolutely real, and it is a solid 36D. After waiting for another period of time, the surrounding search operations gradually disappeared due to the delay in finding the suspicious person. Alvia restored the cabinet to its original appearance, and found a chance to slip out. If it was Alvia's behavior before, it could indeed help him escape the search. But this time is different, or it has been different since yesterday. The entire search tonight was too manpowered, and it lasted for too long, and Alvia himself felt the strangeness. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Standing in the clouds, Shin Luo also saw some familiar faces of Marine and hundreds of millions of pirates mixed in the search team through Rinnegan's summons. In the past few days, the frequent stolen riots in the casino and the weird behavior of the fat man, Shin Luo have attracted the attention of other forces. These people were like temple dogs, and after smelling the unusual breath, they surrounded them. Where do you want to go, Miss Alvia? Why don't you let me see you for a ride? Alvia had just turned a few corners and was spotted by a man dressed in the West and acting very gentlemanly. In front of Alvia. Huh, do you still want to run? Nicole Alvia, come here obediently, I can keep you alive. Advertisement. A group of pirates also surrounded behind Alvia. The leader was a pirate captain who set off from the West Sea and had some reputation in New World, Dinan Walker with Hook. The left and right palms of Hook's Dinan Walker were cut off by the enemy and replaced by two hooks. It was with these two hooks that Dinan Walker made a fierce attempt to break out countless prestige in New World. But his status is still not enough to participate in Alvia's fight, so who should sell his life for? Big Mom, beasts, pirates, Whitebeard, doubts or other forces, Shin Luo thinks in his mind, just think tonight is going to be more lively. In the observation of Shin Luo Rinnegan's summons, at least 8 different forces are gathering at this street corner. These 8 forces are not ordinary characters, and the leaders have the strength of pirates with hundreds of millions of bounty, including a Marine Lieutenant General. One of the strongest is Torapal, one of the top officials of the Don Quixote family. Shin Luo didn't expect that Don Quixote family had started participating in world events so early. Doflamingo had only been out to sea for 6 to 7 years and had such confidence and strength. It should not be underestimated, and I don't know the Red Earl hidden in the dark. For a time Alvia was surrounded by a dozen forces, and it was difficult to fly. The only thing left for her now is to wait for the right to be taken away by a certain force. This desperate scene reminded her of being chased by Marine, abducted by Golden Lion and throwing the remaining 33 crew into the sea. A line of tears fell from Alvia's face, who had always been very strong. There was no sound, it was a kind of silent despair and crying. Shin Luo has a headache. He doesn't see women crying the most, especially the women he cares about. The wine glass in his hand was thrown out by Shin Luo, and I don't know which hapless guy hit it on the head. It really doesn't work. Even if someone sees Shin Luo, he has to take Alvia away. Anyway, Shin Luo is worthy of these people, at most some of the previous plans have all been ruined. More than a dozen forces ignored Alvia herself and talked about her ownership unscrupulously in front of her. Now she is just one thing. A strange thing that everyone fights over, and she only needs to be immortal. Advertisement. Negotiations are not going well, Alvia has only one, and she is alone and cannot be divided into several points. If you don't want to be speculative, discussing and threatening are useless, the next step is to do it. The war is about to start. More than a dozen forces worked together, except for themselves, all were enemies. The leader of the 2.9 power rushed directly towards Alvia. They have to fight each other while fighting for Alvia, and they also have to ensure Alvia's life. They are more restrained. The scene is not chaotic enough, Shin Luo couldn't help thinking about the scene of fighting for Alvia. Only the more chaotic he can take it away without knowing it. Looking at the surrounding environment, Shin Luo has ethics. This block is relatively close to the city wall. Before no one noticed, a row of more than a dozen cannons on the city wall spun up without anyone, and aimed at the scuffled crowd. Because Chateau's castle was guarding unidentified forces recently, the artillery shells were placed aside. The unmanned cannon automatically refills ammunition and fires. Goal: Alvia. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 433. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The bombardment on the city wall cut through the night and also broke through the tranquility of Chateau's city. At night, there were a lot of rooms where artillery roared, and there were none in the field, but none of them were neatly fired on the walls. After the roar of shells and the loud explosion of the explosion. In Shin Luo's eyes, Chateau's city in the dark is like dominoes. Starting from this warring block in Nanchung district, the lights continue to spread to the royal palace and marine base. The cannonballs aimed at Alvia's street corner, except for one or two that fell into the outside fighting crowd, more directly hit Alvia and the leaders of the many forces fighting for her. With this distance and accuracy, The leaders of all the forces that were bombarded felt that there was a whole team of ace bombers attacking them. At this time, no one has time to care about Alvia's life and death. The leaders of the various forces have guarded themselves against the bombardment and the explosions caused by the shelling. The violent explosion carried fragments of ammunition, set off huge dust, and shattered the glass of all surrounding houses. Behind the glass were ordinary people shivering under the bed. Under this kind of close-range shelling explosion, even the leaders of those forces who resisted 17 with all their strength would take them one by one, and Alvia, an ordinary person with little strength, would think it would be more fortunate. Everyone can basically foresee a bloody and incomplete corpse behind the smoke. As the cannonball approached, Alvia looked at the cannonball getting closer and closer to her body, first of all fear of death, and finally reduced to relief. Maybe it's not bad to just die like this. Compared to death, Alvia is more afraid of falling into the tragic end of those forces, the tragedy of O'Hara being massacred, and the heavy mission of finding lost history. Advertisement. These are like ropes wrapped around her neck, getting tighter and tighter, gradually making her out of breath, unable to breathe, like death. But now she seems to be dying under a cannonball, dying in front of everyone in O'Hara. She is going to be free. The use and development of the human brain is often only 10%. At the moment of death, the normally suppressed thinking ability and potential are all activated by the body's survival instinct. In this short period of time, Alvia thought a lot. The memories of the past flashed in her mind like a horse, but they were so clear. Alvia thought of her childhood, of how she was taught by the elders on O'Hara, of the books she had read, of friends and relatives, and of her former husband. These things she thought were completely blurred. Faces and memories. In the end, Alvia thought of her daughter, the recent suffering, the 33 crew members who did not know whereabouts, and flowing clouds. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The shell exploded, and all Alvia's thoughts were submerged in the explosion, and the dazzling white light and thick smoke swallowed her body and face. There was no pain. When Alvia opened her eyes again, she saw the sky and the moon closer. Is this the kingdom of heaven? It seems to be closer and larger to the moon. Alvia looked at the strange moon. There was not a trace of cleanness, and there was a unlovable hurdle. Sorry, the kingdom of heaven is overcrowded now, so I don't plan to accept you for the time being. A familiar voice sounded from behind Alvia, and a pair of greasy fat hands covered Alvia's eyes from behind. Of course Alvia was not dead. Shin Luo previously teleported to the wall and controlled the cannons on the wall to shell Alvia. Naturally, he was confident of saving and taking Alvia away in the chaos. At that time, Shin Luo didn't panic at all, even when he controlled a row of cannons, his mood was like this. Advertisement. 2nd Battalion Commander, bring up Laozi's Italian cannon and let the friendly forces taste it. Fire. Shin Luo wanted to shout it out, but in order not to disturb others and save Alvia, Shin Luo endured it and made a salted fish that could not even dare to say anything but lust in his heart. Italy is a good place, where the artillery, noodles, and women are all charming. At the moment the cannonball flew out, Shin Luo covered Alvia with an invisible repulsion space in the air, and a shield with a 100-fold repulsion force protected Alvia like a tortoise shell. Even if all the people on the corner were dead and mushrooms grew on the ground, Alvia would be fine. This is the first time that Shin Luo has put a repulsion shield on someone at such a distance. If the system is not powerful enough, Rinnegan's 360-degree 3D positioning is true and accurate, otherwise it is really choking. Finally, when Alvia was surrounded by heavy smoke and blazing white light, Kamui's quiet black hole unfolded behind Alvia. With a light push, Alvia entered the Kamui space. When the Kamui space came out again, Alvia and Shin Luo were already above the clouds. Shin Luo looked at Alvia with her eyes closed, teasing her mind, turning into a fat man, talking from behind her and covering her eyes. Alvia was surprised to find that her eyes were covered by a pair of greasy pig feet. She grabbed the elbows a few times and escaped. Now she saw the talking pig, and the appearance of being above the clouds now. Advertisement. The unfamiliar environment and affairs made her wonder. What are you? Where are you? What are you going to do? Alvia had 3 qualities when she opened her mouth. She didn't think that the fat pig in front of her was an angel. If it is true, she thinks to go to hell to see, or come to the wrong kingdom of heaven 370, here is the kingdom of pigs. Shin Luo was very injured. He was arrested after saving a person. He was asked about something, and his teasing heart became stronger. Hey, of course I caught you here. Come and thank me for saving my life. From now on, you will be my slave. If the warm bed is poured, it will be destroyed, and the ancient weapons will be dropped. You dream. Alvia knew that she was no match for the other side. Thinking of the humiliation just mentioned, she hardened her heart and jumped directly from the edge of the clouds. Ghost, scared the baby to death. Chin Luo was terrified. Unexpectedly, Alvia is so sturdy, there is no repulsion parallel space. Outside the clouds, Alvia really fell when she fell. Chin Luo quickly wrapped Alvia with repulsive force and pulled back. Seeing Alvia struggling with repulsion, Chin Luo's thoughts of teasing are gone, for fear that Alvia will do stupid things again. Don't struggle, it won't hurt you, just joking. In Chin Luo's gentle voice, in front of Alvia, the fat man gradually shrinks, and the fully stretched kimono becomes looser. Chin Luo will also look handsome and evil. Seeing Alvia's still puzzled appearance, Chin Luo took out a mask in his hand. Naturally Luyan's mask played with it. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 434. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Luyun. Looking at the mask in the memory, thinking about the familiar voices and the full of evil taste, Alvia stopped struggling and asked softly with doubts. You can also call me Chin Luo. With soft and loving eyes, Chin Luo's smile warmed Alvia's scarred heart like the sun in the night. Asshole. When she confirmed that the person who saved her was Luyun, Alvia's mind went blank, thinking of nothing, and threw a curse into Chin Luo's arms. At that moment, only Chin Luo's wicked smile was left in Alvia's eyes. Before Alvia was dying, it was not the dead husband that thought of it, but the flowing cloud with a mask. The face of the husband who had been dead for many years became more and more blurred. At the moment of dying again, Alvia was rescued by Chin Luo. She thought about whether she was dead, put aside everything she was carrying, gave up the identity of Alvia, and started a new life with Chin Luo. Alvia thought while crying. She knew that she was over, and in front of Chin Luo she could no longer put on herself the disguise called strong. She couldn't even refuse Chin Luo if he spoke. Knowing that the tears completely wet Chin Luo's clothes, Alvia stopped tears. Thank you for saving me easily. I will repay me if I get the chance. Alvia said with her red eyes and hot red face. This is her last arrogance. Advertisement. It's not easy to save. I have been looking for you for a long time, little wildcat. Chin Luo touched Alvia's face with his right hand and gently wiped away tears, bringing a hint of coolness to Alvia's blushing face. A soft voice rang in Alvia's ears, and the magical voice made her ears glow red. You are the little wild cat. Alvia threw himself into Chin Luo's arms again. This time she didn't cry. She just listened to Chin Luo's heartbeat quietly, depending on what Chin Luo said. Not the truth. I still said no. He grabbed and bit, and he would climb the wall and steal things to drill into the bookcase. Chin Luo exhaled softly in Alvia's ear. Although Chin Luo didn't know how to make a girl in his previous life, it is still possible to draw a scoop by gourd, and I don't want to deceive me. Me. Alvia's shy voice seemed to be able to squeeze out the water. Chin Luo said that it was the first time he saw Alvia like this. Repaying the favor, I don't want it. The interest will still be charged. Chin Luo put his finger on Alvia's lips and hinted frantically. At that moment, Chin Luo missed a poem in his heart. Go. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It's not right. It's Tezu's. It is advisable to chase the brave leftovers to chase the poor, but not to be famous and academic overlord. Alvia is very active. She is indeed a woman who is very active even in love. After Chin Luo hinted, Chin Luo kissed herself without even starting to act. Tongue kiss, also called hot kiss, wet kiss, French kiss, also called romantic kiss. It is called humoral interaction in medicine, and spitting between bears and children. Don't ask why the author wants to encyclopedia these things here. The author has been alone for more than 20 years, and this question is a proposition for me. If you don't talk about it, just put it like this. The kiss came with dry wood and fire. It seemed as long as 1,000 years and ended like a handgun. Lost and the two woke up again. Maybe it's just going through something with a larger span, or maybe it's acknowledging something. Alvia, who was sober, was ashamed and anxious to get away from Chin Luo's arms. Advertisement. The moment he broke away from Qin Luo's arms, Aldia relentlessly punched Qin Luo in the stomach. A full-strength fist hit Qin Luo's soft lower abdomen. Two people, one has no worries and the other has no defense. Unprepared, Qin Luo bent down like a shrimp. Fortunately, this time is not towards the little Qin Luo, otherwise the young Qin Luo, who has just been arrogant, is estimated to be in the shadow for a long time. Qin Luo couldn't understand exactly what Aldia was thinking. She was ready for her second marriage just now, and she was ready to be a widow in the next moment. After the pain was over, Qin Luo reacted, perhaps this is Aldia's subconscious pride. She is erudite and knowledgeable, not strong but vigorous, has a strong and resolute personality, and has a lot of burdens but never stops. Different from Tsunade's kind of strong women who have been trained in Naruto, Aldia itself is like this, a woman who burns like a fire, a blood rose with thorns. This is probably the reason why Qin Luo is not familiar with her role but admires her very much. Aldia gave Qin Luo a completely different kind of beauty, which allowed Qin Luo to endure the sting and want to hold it in his hand. After thinking about this, Qin Luo's face appeared with a soft smile. Stepping forward, Aldia, who stood bewildered and behaved very annoyed after the punch, pulled over. Qin Luo took her hand and walked to the table where he had a drink before. The wine and dishes on the table are still intact, just add the dishes and chopsticks. With a thought, Qin Luo took out a pear from the space warehouse. Eat something first. I don't know if you have eaten well these days. Just stay by my side in the future, don't take risks on your own. Advertisement. Sitting opposite Qin Luo, Aldia put away the blushes on his face and ears. The eyes of both sides met, and they were stuck together like an electric shock, which was difficult to separate. At this time, Qin Luo's expression was more serious than ever, and he stared at her as if he was about to swallow her. A kiss is not satisfying for Qin Luo. Aldia has a firm and free spirit. If he doesn't chase after victory now, it will be the final word. When she turns her head back, when Aldia becomes rational and calm, she will use her daughter and mission to disguise herself again, shelving her inner feelings, and send Qin Luo a good person card by the way. Qin Luo didn't want to take a risk, and now he asked Aldia to speak, a real response. This time, Aldia could no longer escape. Aldia knew that Qin Luo had put her secret in front of her. Luyun is Qin Luo. If this news spreads, the whole pirate world will be earthquake. Well, as she just thought, start her life again from today. Aldia made a decision after a period of mild psychological struggle, and she smiled sweetly at Qin Luo. Qin Luo knew it, and it was done. Okay. Aldia responded decisively and simply. She finally returned to Aldia, who she was, without mission and restraint, just like an 18-year-old girl. Aldia let go of something, and promised something. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 435. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After getting the answer he wanted, Qin Luo's hanging heart was finally let go, and everything was settled. Qin Luo picked up 2 small wine glasses and filled them with sake. Come on, let's have a drink together. Qin Luo handed Aldia a cup. According to Qin Luo's intention, this time he and her body should be entangled with each other, then blush, stretch their necks and drink something. Liquid. That's right, Qin Luo is talking about handing over a glass of wine. Aldia did not refuse. This time is usually accompanied by a narration. From then on, Qin Luo and Aldia fell in love, staying and flying together. System. Say something human. Do you know what the urine is about in this book? Narrator. Since then Qin Luo has found a savage gun friend, long-term, in charge of food, like a wife. Avi. So the system gave Qin Luo 500 points to Qin Luo very satisfied. Qin Luo was very surprised that the system would automatically send points, which is so strange, there must be an unknown calculation behind this. Could it be that the system is encouraging him to attack pirate women? Why didn't Taodu give it? Is it because of the wife? A certain host can guess it at random. Qin Luo fell into the imagination of wireless. Since the wife can do it, Loli can also try it. It just so happens that Robin Loli is in O'Hara, she is still a mother and daughter, hehehehe. Perhaps Qin Luo's trivial system is not small, and the system takes the initiative to warn. Host, your idea is very dangerous. This kind of thing is 137 sentiment, starting in 3 years, the highest death penalty. Advertisement. Qin Luo shook his head frantically. Wrong, wrong. It is obviously 3 years of blood earned, and the death penalty is not a loss. What are you talking about? Alvia found that Qin Luo was talking to herself very strange, not only wretched, but also gave her an urge to beat him, which can be said to be very awful. No, I'm talking about Loli. Qin Luo was taken aback, and hurriedly shook off the thoughts in his head, just like watching a small movie and being discovered by his parents. Lori. Alvia asked, a black question mark on her face. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It's Robin. I'm talking about how your daughter Robin is doing. Qin Luo was afraid of what Alvia would find, and explained quickly. Robin, how do you know my daughter's name is Robin? I never said that. Alvia looked at Qin Luo with a vigilant face, while worried that Qin Luo had a grudge against her because she had a daughter. It's not a secret that your daughter's name is Robin. I just want to find you and investigate it. Naturally, I know it. Qin Luo's reason was very good, and Alvia was relieved if he thought about it. Some things couldn't be forced. Qin Luo knew it from the beginning, and since he asked that just now, it means he doesn't mind. Robin, it's been a long time since I saw my daughter. I really want to go back to O'Hara to see her now. She is in danger now. Alvia recalled her daughter. Shed tears. The strong Alvia seemed to shed tears in one day that she hadn't seen in years. The days of hiding and hunting were not easy, and many places on the main route of the West China Sea that could be supplied were destroyed. Alvia didn't know how long it had been since she had a good meal. Qin Luo and her were eating and chatting. Advertisement. For a moonlight dinner. I don't know how many streets to burn a candlelight dinner on the degree of romance. Are you looking for a love hotel that sits on top of the clouds? The 11th district is not good. From Alvia's sea experience, to Alvia's daughter Robin, the 33 crew members who were unaccounted for, and the marine demon slaying fleet on the way to O'Hara. Alvia, who is happy to share all the sadness and pains in his heart with his man. Qin Luo can always show his gentle side, comfort and promise, and there is always a suitable topic for those topics. It's different. Qin Luo, who already has experience with both Tsunade and Taotu, is completely different from single dogs in terms of sultry skills. Doesn't that mean that you found me long ago when I broke into the casino? Okay. You are watching a show, why didn't you save me sooner? When talking about how Qin Luo found her, Alvia found that Qin Luo saw his every move, along with the look of embarrassment. In embarrassment, Alvia stretched out a small fist to hit Qin Luo's chest. Didn't you see your heroic appearance? The thief-like skill is really fascinating. And how else can you draw out the forces hiding in the city? You see, if you are in danger, I will rescue you. Qin Luo explained a lot, and Alvia let him go. By the way, what are you looking for at the risk of getting caught? It's not just Qin Luo, but the forces that are paying attention to Alvia are also very surprised. Is this Chateau's city hidden in the ancient 3 something related to weapons? A piece of jade talisman. Alvia stroked his hair and continued. It is related to the undead fleet. Dead fleet. Qin Luo couldn't figure it out, but had a bad feeling in his heart. Some time ago, he awakened a group of ghost ships. Advertisement. The undead fleet is the unidentified armed force that has slaughtered multiple towns in a row recently. Their banner is a lady holding a rose and a skeleton. I have seen relevant information in O'Hara's books. This is 1000. A sinful cult of years ago. I don't know why they were resurrected after being sealed. What does it have to do with the jade talisman you are looking for? Qin Luo asked the key. The book also mentions that there is a family guarding the jade charm in the city of Chateaus. This jade charm is related to the seal of this cult. I think that this undead fleet may have something to do with this jade charm when it came to the West Sea. But that family has already been destroyed. It was only after inquiring that the last member of the family was addicted to gambling, and a lot of family wealth was lost. After Alvia's explanation, Qin Luo understood everything, and he was basically certain that he had awakened the undead fleet. Qin Luo was uneasy, and his heart jumped wildly, wondering whether to tell Alvia all this. In the end, Qin Luo gave up and will talk about it later if he has a chance. According to you, this jade talisman is either in the casino or in the hands of the royal family of Noras. Faced with Qin Luo's question, Alvia nodded. There are still several casinos to check. After evacuating the table, Shin Luo decided to accompany Alvia on a trip. Otherwise Alvia will go secretly alone again. Alvia stretched out a finger and pointed somewhere. Shin Luo didn't say much, and put his arms around Alvia. After a few pauses, he arrived at the treasure room of the last casino that Alvia said. Next, I will look at your thief cat. Shin Luo could see the contents of the safe, but he didn't recognize the jade symbol. By the way, if you see this thing, keep it for me, I'm short of it. Shin Luo has an extra devil fruit in his hand. Isn't it the one in the safe of the last casino? When did Shin Luo get it? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 436. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. With Shin Luo on the sidelines, Alvia didn't need to be as distracted as before, and quickly opened the safe. The scale of this casino is much larger than the previous one, after opening a safe as big as 6 freezers. The treasures inside were unreservedly revealed in front of Shin Luo and Alvia. Sure enough, robbery is the first choice to make a fortune. There are countless jewels and antiques, and even devil fruit has as many as 4. Shin Luo felt the hospitality of this casino and directly gave 4 devil fruits to him on behalf of the owner of the casino. But after searching, Alvia still didn't find the jade symbol. Then there is one possibility left: the jade talisman is now in the hands of the royal family of Norras. Before the night was exhausted, Shin Luo took Alvia back to the hotel. Little wild cat, do you have to find that jade talisman? You are not worried about O'Hara's situation and the 33 crew members. After knowing that the resistance was invalid, Alvia no longer resisted Shin Luo calling her Xiaoyi cat. Although every time Shin Luo called so, Alvia blushed. I'm worried, of course I'm worried, but the Marines' fleet to O'Hara hasn't even arrived at Chateau City. I have a hunch that if I don't find that jade symbol, I can solve the hidden mystery. How can Shihai? No, even the whole world will be in danger. Bad guy, you have to help me. Advertisement. Alvia's face is just and serious, as if he is a selfless hero who wants to save the world by himself. The more Alvia did this, the more it made Shin Luo's heart beat wildly. At that time, how can Shin Luo tell Alvia that this undead fleet was released by him? No, Shin Luo intends to completely draw a line with the undead fleet, and will not admit what he has done before. As for the sins caused by the undead fleet, Shin Luo threw the pot out with the reason that the undead fleet will sooner or later run out of the seal and cause disaster. Shihai was destined to have such a catastrophe, and Shin Luo just let it happen a little earlier. Just like this. Shin Luo replied casually, his mind still thinking about throwing the pot. Of course, I am for the world. It has nothing to do with the jade talisman itself, and I don't care about the history 1,000 years ago. Alvia's arms crossed her chest, her head held high, made the majestic twin peaks more upright, and her slightly shy red face. Seeing Shin Luo's eyes straightened, he swallowed desperately. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Also, Shin Luo looked at Alvia, whose face couldn't hide the secret at all, and could only sigh that this girl was too sincere. Shin Luo didn't doubt anything, Alvia said it by himself. Isn't this the place where there is no silver 300 taels? Shin Luo agreed to Alvia. Norras' palace is just that. With Shin Luo's ability, the world is so big that there is nowhere to go. And if nothing happens, there will be a chance to enter Norras' palace soon. On the second day, the person who bought the intoxicating bar sent the latest Alvia news to Shin Luo's residence. Along with the information is an invitation letter from King Norras. The intelligence is nothing more than the news that Alvia appeared and dead last night, and the news on the bad street is not worth mentioning. Besides, Alvia is by his side. Advertisement. The invitation letter from the royal family of Norras is more interesting. Shin Luo didn't think he was the only one who received the invitation. Not surprisingly, many forces have been sent invitation letters. As for the intentions of the Norras royal family, it is not very clear. The timely invitation letter found a legitimate reason for Alvia and Shin Luo to enter the palace. At least the two did not need to sneak in. The little wild cat, although I really want to take a female companion in with me, but at this time a female companion appears out of thin air, but it will cause trouble. So there is no way. When speaking, Shin Luo has become a fat man. and stretched out a hand to lift Alvia's chin. Don't touch me with the salty pig's hands. Alvia patted it open. Does the fat man have no human rights? Who says there is no way? I will dissolve. Qin Luo actually just said casually. Bringing a living person into the Nora's palace is not a matter of minutes for him, he has many ways. However, Qin Luo didn't expect Alvia to change face. Why didn't I see you easily before, and where did you learn it? This kind of knowledge is quite partial. Qin Luo looked at Alvia with a face of disbelief. Lied to me. O'Hara has a few books about disguise, and I have read them all. Disguise couldn't be simpler. The main reason for the difficulty in disguising before was that I didn't have the materials and tools for disguise. Alvia's explanation made Qin Luo decide to believe her once, and he worked as a taobao for Alvia for a while. As soon as Alvia talked about the material, Qin Luo teleported to the corresponding shop to fetch it. The two skills of teleportation and Kamui space are really easy to use. Qin Luo has no doubt that if Obito and 4th Hokage live in today's world, they will definitely dominate the express delivery industry. GTMD goes down the wind, and Yuantong, Shantong and the like are younger brothers in front of the master and apprentice. At the dinner, the fat man Qin Luo and Alvia, who is a handsome boy, entered the Nora's palace together. Many forces were invited, and a large area of the palace was used as a venue for banquets. Advertisement. Qin Luo counts casually. How come there are close to 30 powers? Together with some people from the kingdom of Noras and the royal family, the entire square and hall are still a bit crowded. There are many forces like Qin Luo, but Qin Luo is the most eye-catching combination. No way. There is the owner, Qin Luo, who looks like a pig in front of this group. He was so handsome, a servant with short blonde hair. Qin Luo didn't care about some aristocratic ladies winking at Alvia, so how to put it, Lily is infinitely good, just can't give birth. But yeah, the eyes of those ladies looking at Qin Luo were too creepy, as if they were looking at an unknown object. Thank you all for being able to show your face to the royal banquet of Noras tonight, and here to present the friendship of the kingdom of Noras. It is almost time. The innermost part of the banquet, a voice came from the direction of the second floor. The current king of Noras Noritz 16 appeared. Earl Red. The sharp-eyed Qin Luo first shouted in a low voice. Behind Noritz 16, he was followed by an assistant adjutant and a man with a blood-red cloak. Earl Red. There is nothing wrong. Qin Luo met once today. And more than one person at the scene recognized the Red Earl. Obviously, the Red Earl has reached some kind of agreement with the Royal Noritz. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 437. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The appearance of the Red Earl still brought a great shock. The Red Earl is the strongest pirate of this era. In the absence of old monsters like Five Elders, only a few people like One Piece Roger, Golden Lion, and Whitebeard can be as famous as him. As for the vigorous beasts, Kaido and the Big Mom pirate group are a generation shorter in front of the Red Earl. Especially when Roger died, the Golden Lion was hidden, and Whitebeard couldn't shrink back. The Red Earl became the only legend that existed in the banquet. Those who can receive invitations to the banquet are basically spokespersons sent by various major forces, and their every move represents the interests of the forces behind them. Everyone has to think about the significance of the Red Earl's appearance in the Nora's royal family. Is the Red Earl planning to directly intervene in this storm in the West Sea? Today I invite you to the banquet. There are two main things. Nora's current king, Noras 16 continued his words. No one wants to pay attention to the words of an ordinary king old man, and no one dares not give face to the Red Earl behind the king. Advertisement. So the whole banquet was quiet. Watched by many disdainful eyes, Noras 16 was calm and composed. The first thing is about Nicole Alvia. What happened last night is clear to everyone. There is only one thing I want to explain. The shelling last night has nothing to do with the Royal Noritz. Nicole Alvia is not in the hands of the Noras royal family either. Your Majesty Noras, the shelling last night came from the walls of Chateau's city. How could it have nothing to do with the royal family? Toripal, the top cadre of the Don Quixote family, stood up and retorted. With a leader, the other forces present were all excited and asked the Royal Noritz to give an explanation. Everything seems so normal, and the Don Quixote family also gained a lot of goodwill because of Toripal's fear of death. Only one person, Qin Luo, found something wrong. Knowing what urinary Don Quixote family is, Qin Luo saw the weirdness in an instant. Toripal is not someone who cares and respects the king. In a few years, the Don Quixote family directly framed the Liku royal family with tricks, and re-ruled Dressrosa with deception and murder. The Red Earl is also very wrong. He, who is known as the Lonely God, has no response to the questioning. Normally, shouldn't he be angrily smashing Toripal? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The whole thing revealed a strange atmosphere, just like a rehearsed drama. A flash of lightning flashed through Qin Luo's mind. He knew that the Don Quixote family might have been united with the Red Earl long ago. Both of them pretended not to know, but secretly controlled and guided the entire banquet process and all forces. The Red Earl and Don Quixote family are really good tricks, but Qin Luo does not intend to break them. The stupid person let him be cheated to death, and turned him off Qin Luo. There was not a good bird present. Advertisement. There was another person who controlled the artillery on the wall at the time. The artillery fired was the section of the wall closest to your battle zone. The location of Nicole Alvia you blocked was random, and the royal family could not prepare for the shelling in advance. And there is one more thing. Now that the entire Nora's kingdom is overwhelmed by it, how can Nicole Alvia dare not touch it in this muddy water? Most forces can understand the meaning of Nora's XVI's words, and feel that as long as the Nora's royal family's brains are normal, they would not dare to intervene in Nicole Alvia's affairs under such circumstances. Believe a bit. As for the rest of the doubts, they all looked straight at the Red Earl with their gazes. After the explosion last night, many of the leaders who robbed Alvia on the scene neither saw Alvia's fragmented body nor saw her again. I thought it was hidden in the chaos. There are not many people who can arrange that sudden shelling and have the strength to take Alvia away from the chaos during the shelling, and the Red Earl is one of them. The Red Earl, who has not spoken, said, "The shelling has nothing to do with me, and Nicole Alvia is not in my hands now. I still disdain to lie to some juniors. Believe it or not, I will follow you. The Red Earl has said so, how else can the people below respond? It's like Schwarzenegger lit a bomb and put it on the cake as a candle to celebrate your birthday. Are you moved? The only answer is not to move at all." Under the double influence of the Red Earl and the Don Quixote family, the many forces present successfully reached a lot of consensus and shifted the topic to the second matter. The kingdom of Nora's turned to many forces present for help. The purpose, of course, is to deal with the upcoming undead fleet. There is actually nothing to discuss about asking for help. Which of the forces present would be willing? This is the calamity of Shihai and Marine. Most of the people present were pirates in other countries and organizations. How could they take risks for this kind of thing? If it weren't for Nicole Alvia, they wouldn't even come back to this dangerous city of chateaus. Advertisement. The reason the scene was silent again was just that these forces did not dare to refuse too directly. Your Majesty doesn't need to say any more about this. This kind of thing is not profitable to us. Even if you say it in a big way, it's impossible. Unless the pre-enacted scene is good. This time Don Quixote family made another move. As soon as Toripal spoke, the initial idea of many forces from the beginning was that they did not intend to make a move. It became as long as the kingdom of Nora's was willing to pay a sufficient price. Everyone can consider it. Don't underestimate this. Hope is the key to negotiation. As long as there is a play, then it is only a matter of how much to pay. I am embarrassed by the fact that the leaders of these forces have been sold, and I am still grateful to others. Don Quixote family dares to speak straightforwardly, and seek benefits for many forces in front of the Red Earl. These fools are out of help. Alvia's cursing sound came from Qin Luo's side, and it seemed that she also saw something wrong. Qin Luo pretended to be looking ahead, his mouth still, but a slight voice from his throat communicated with Alvia. "You can see it too. I thought I was the only one to see that the Red Earl, Don Quixote, and the Royal Norits have joined forces. This kind of trick, as long as it is not stupid and calm enough, you can see it. You look at the Marine representative in the left corner and the representatives of the underground forces on the right, and they all see it." Qin Luo looked to both sides following what Alvia said. Those people sneered secretly while drinking alcohol. Sure enough, they could see what Alvia said. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 438. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The performance of the Red Earl and Don Quixote family is undoubtedly a success, and the entire banquet venue has become a large-scale flickering event site. Except for a few people, the rest were bypassed, and they didn't know if they were deceived. Qin Luo originally planned to ask Alvia what the success rate of the trio of Red Earls, who played with each other's acting skills, was able to deceive many forces to help the Kingdom of Norez repel the undead fleet. As a result, the deception has developed extremely smoothly. Before Qin Luo asked, a lot of people decided to take action based on the benefits promised by King Norez XVI. Looking at the representatives of these forces, with a look of earnestly calculating the gains and losses of helping the Kingdom of Norez, Qin Luo really wanted to laugh. The brains of these people who think they are smart are basically flooded. In the end, Norez 16 only paid 20 million baileys per person, a batch of weapons, provided information about Nicole Alvia, and promised to help the forces on the scene avoid Marine's pursuit and received a large number of reinforcements. The first two promises seemed to lose a lot of money, but for the Kingdom of Norez, where the 19-port trade in Hong Kong is so prosperous, it is also a pain, and it does not take long to earn it back. The premise is that Chateau City and the royal family of Norez will not be destroyed in this disaster. The latter two promises are even more a joke in Qin Luo's eyes. Now Alvia is by his side. Where does the Norez royal family come from? Marine is not something that the Norez royal family can fight against. Norez 16 is writing a bad check. Advertisement. But it's no wonder that Norez 16 didn't care much about making promises. The Red Earl and the Don Quixote family find the royal family of Norez to cooperate, and one of the conditions should be Nicole Alvia. And the relationship between the royal Norez and the local Marine is really good. Norez 16 promised to help the pirate deal with Marine directly in front of the representative of Marine, who had no other expressions except a sneer. The aid agreement between the numerous forces present and the royal Norez was set so happily under the flicking performance of the two parties. Norez 16 left again with the adjutant and the Red Earl, and the scrambled banquet resumed. Qin Luo and Alvia stared at each other, found a gap that no one noticed, and disappeared into the banquet. It took a lot of time for King Norez to discuss rescue with many forces. The ladies and the wives have already retreated to the back room, and no one will pay attention to whether the master Qin Luo is present or not. The main purpose of Qin Luo and Alvia's visit to the palace was to find a jade amulet related to the undead fleet that is likely to be located somewhere in the palace. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. After determining the direction, Qin Luo took Alvia and teleported directly to the treasure room of the palace. Shish. As soon as he appeared, Qin Luo gestured Shizun to Alvia. Qin Luo's reaction and sensing abilities are far more sensitive than ordinary people. Just as he teleported over, he found that there were already people in the treasure room before the two of them arrived. Qin Luo and Alvia are located in the innermost room of the treasure room, which is also the place where the most valuable items are placed. According to Alvia, that piece of jade talisman itself is very valuable. It is very likely that it is the most valuable batch of treasures in the palace. It is very likely that it is in the innermost room of the treasure room. Can you see which force caught Nicole Alvia? The speaker was on the edge of Qin Luo's room. Advertisement. I can't see it. Many people are disfigured, and they can't see their expressions and origins. Now we need these people to help the Norez royal family defend the city, and we can't force others to show their true colors. The person who answered is not hurried. There is a kind of calm momentum. Sorry, Earl Red, because the Kingdom of Norez has hindered their plans. But you can rest assured that the things Norez Kingdom promised to them will definitely be done. Qin Luo and Alvia glanced at each other, and this tone and voice could not be wrong. It was King Norez XVI of Norez who was just on stage. The other two are Toripal and the Red Earl. After the negotiation, these three people seemed to have come here directly. Of course, I never doubted King Norez's promise. The Red Earl waved his hand to express his trust in King Norez. But in fact, did he believe in King Norez's promise or not? It is estimated that neither of the two layers has done so. Otherwise, how could the Red Earl be called the Lonely God? He has no crew partners so far, and he is alone. The big reason is that he never trusts others. Afterwards, the three of the Red Earl continued to talk about the later plans, allowing Qin Luo and Alvia to hear clearly. When it was about time, the Red Earl asked Norez 16, Your Majesty, what about the jade you are talking about? Come and see it. Well, please come with me to bring the two of you. King Norez said that he had already brought the Red Earl and Torpal to the room where Qin Luo was. Jade, could it be the jade talisman they were looking for again? Wouldn't it be so coincidental? Red Earl can even find this. Is the Red Earl's ancestral home also from O'Hara? Qin Luo and Alvia glanced at each other, and both saw a hint of surprise in their eyes. The sound of roller, wheeler, sounded, and the door of the innermost room was slowly opening. Advertisement. It's broken, how come so fast? Without time to explain, Qin Luo directly grabbed Alvia and hid directly in the Kamui space. The red count 3 came in, and King Nor 700Z knocked a few times on a book on a shelf in the room. The sound of the mechanism turning again, and a hidden grid appeared on the wall. My God, it is already a treasure room with many organs. Who would have thought that there is a hidden compartment in the innermost room that must be opened with a specific key? Qin Luo admires the Nora's royal family's ability to hide things. If it weren't for things to happen in front of his eyes, Qin Luo wouldn't have thought that there would be a hidden frame, and naturally he would not find the jade amulet at that time. There are 11 things hidden in the secret compartment. King Norez took one of the wooden boxes, and after opening it was a palm-sized jade symbol. The jade talisman exudes a milky white dim but clear light, and the jade talisman is engraved with incomprehensible words and graphics, which is mysterious and holy. If you want to describe it, the jade talisman has a feeling of missing, like a fragment in a jigsaw puzzle. The jade amulet was picked up by King Norez and placed it in the hands of the Red Earl. The moment the Red Earl got it, the jade amulet changed surprisingly. The originally dim light suddenly became dazzling, and violent white light bloomed from the jade talisman. At the same time, the jade amulet seemed to become hot, and the Red Earl made a boom sound while holding the jade amulet, and blue smoke came out. The Red Earl yelled and threw the jade talisman to the ground. The strangeness on the jade talisman disappeared again. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 439. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The changes in jade symbols come and go quickly. If it weren't for the wailing screams of the Red Earl just now, and the burned scars on his hands, the two people around would have thought that the fleeting dazzling white light was just their hallucinations. Torpal and King Norez looked at each other, not knowing what to say. Especially King Norez, this jade amulet was handed over to the Red Earl. As a result, this kind of change occurred, and the Red Earl was injured even more. King Norez couldn't help but worry whether the Red Earl would anger him. Earl Red, I really don't know that this kind of change will happen to this jade. I haven't seen this kind of situation in the past few years. I really didn't intend to hurt you. Norez 16 explained desperately with a stiff pale face. Had it not been for the consciousness and dignity of being a king, he would have to kneel down for the Red Earl. The Red Earl ignored King Norez at all. The Red Earl knew that even if he gave Norez 16 some courage, this guy who was afraid of death would not dare to calculate himself. The Red Earl carefully looked at the jade on the ground that was restored to its original shape. The material of this jade is not ordinary jade, or it is not jade at all. The force he used to throw the jade away from his hand just now was not small. Suddenly he was injured by a piece of jade, and even the Red Earl lost his sense. It was basically Red Earl's instinctive full force, but the jade hit the ground without any damage. At this moment, the jade is lying quietly on the ground, emitting a faint bright light, and the lines, graphics and text on it flash out outlines in the dim light, giving a sense of mystery. Only Red Earl knew best that he was not burned by the jade charm at all. The scars on his hands and the dull pain told him that it was a sunburn. His hand was sunburned by the dazzling divine light. As soon as he touched the jade, the Red Earl raised a threat of death in his heart like an alarm. Advertisement. It was the threat of death that made him throw away the jade in advance, otherwise it would only cause him to receive more serious injuries. This white light that made him uncomfortable, this threat of death reminded the Red Earl of a place. The temple church in the city of saints in the Grand Line New World, where he had been to once when he was young. The same white light and this feeling of heart palpitations made him leave the island as if he were running away, and never been to it again. Originally, Earl Red thought that this memory had been dusted in his mind, but he did not expect that he remembered it again, and encountered the same situation on a piece of jade. Thinking of this, he sorted his thoughts and turned back to the confident and calm Red Earl. Hold the injured hand with the other hand and activate it. thinking that as long as the Red Earl can activate it, some wounds can heal quickly. But this time it was different. The Red Earl felt that there was a strange substance on the wound preventing him from healing the wound, and it kept giving him a burst of tingling, just like a criminal law. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The Red Earl covered the wound with his clothes and pretended to be okay. Regardless of the condition of the wound or those experiences and conjectures, Earl Red would not tell it. This is his secret. It's okay. Don't blame you. But is this what Nicole Alvia is looking for? There is something magical. When he said this, Chin Luo, who was peeking at all of this in the Kamui space, touched Alvia's arm. His playful eyes were clearly saying, "You are too careless, the Red Earl, even you. I found everything I was looking for." Attracted a round of chaos from Alvia's small punches. Master Red, can you see the meaning of the text and graphics above? Why did Nicole Alvia look for this piece of jade? Is it related to the 3 ancient weapons? In order to transfer the embarrassment, Torapal it comes up with a set of quality triples. That's not right, it's 3 consecutive problems. Advertisement. I don't know, I have never seen the text and graphics on this, maybe it is a text from hundreds of years ago. As for the meaning of Nicole Alvia's search for this jade, and whether it is related to the 3 ancient weapons, then you can only ask her after you catch her. The Red Earl actually hid something. He could actually feel that this jade might have something to do with his blood. After this incident, the Red Earl planned to visit his family castle. Some things he should be able to find answers there. First, put it away and put it back in the distance. The Red Count pointed to King Norez and ordered. He also wanted to bring this magical jade with him. But thinking of the threat of death and the wounds on his hands, Earl Red just thought about it. Bring a bomb that will detonate at any time, how big your heart is. King Norez frightened and picked up the jade and put it back in the wooden box. The process is extremely slow and careful. The experience of the Red Earl just now shows that this jade is not a harmless thing. At least the faint smell of scorching meat in the room made King Norez extremely careful about this jade. Fortunately, there were no accidents during the whole process. After King Norez successfully put the jade back into the secret grid, the jade remained calm and gleamed. King Norez touched a cold sweat that didn't exist, feeling that he had escaped. Chin Luo and Alvia came out of the Kamui space only after the 3 of the Red Earl left for a while. Both of them saw everything that happened in the room just now. It doesn't matter whether it is the method of opening the secret grid or the abnormal change of the jade in the hands of the Red Earl. In less than 10 minutes, the jade symbol in Alvia's mouth, was once again seen again, and it was held by Chin Luo and Alvia in their hands. There was nothing unusual. Why hasn't there been any change? Chin Luo meant to point, referring to the strange white light emitted by the jade when the Red Earl got the jade. Advertisement. I don't know, could it be the cause of devil fruit? You are not a demon fruit power. Despite that, Alvia is basically sure that Chin Luo has too many weird abilities, unlike a capable person. On the contrary, both of them felt that the Red Earl was a capable person. I'm not. Wait for me, I'll do an experiment. Chin Luo disappeared with the jade charm after speaking, and reappeared after a few seconds. It has nothing to do with devil fruit. Chin Luo finished thinking about it and continued. Could it be that the legend is true? The Count has something. Did you think about it? Alvia's eyes lit up. Speak together. It is good. Vampire. Ha ha. Chin Luo and Alvia said the same thing 3 times in unison. After speaking, they laughed together. Maybe this is called fate. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 440. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. It is not clear whether this kind of thing is considered fate. Dog food is real. Sure enough, it is said that this kind of thing is not groundless. Now that the undead fleet has appeared, the vampires are not so strange. When Alvia talked about the undead fleet, Chin Luo felt a little frustrated. At the same time, Chin Luo remembered the 3-headed hell dog he had seen at Gecko Moria. It turned out that he had seen the legendary thing a long time ago, but he didn't even notice it. Yeah, I used to think that Earl Red was just wearing the second spirit in his heart. He wanted to cosplay a vampire, but he didn't expect it to be a genuine product. Chin Luo whispered. What? Chin Luo's words contained a lot of things that Alvia hadn't heard of. What is S2, and what the hell is cosplay? It's nothing. By the way, Do you know the words and patterns on it? Shin Luo turned the jade symbol over and over, and finally pointed to one side and asked. Alvia shook his head. This is the text from 1,000 years ago, or the sacrificial text. I must go back to O'Hara to find relevant materials to translate it slowly. Then are you going back to O'Hara? I'll take you back. Shin 153 Luo shrugged, he didn't know archaeology or foreign languages at all. Reason told him not to make any comments. Shin Luo agreed to send Alvia back to O'Hara. Advertisement. Marine's fleet is on the way, how can these scholars study with peace of mind? It's a little heartless, isn't it? At this time, whether it's fleeing or fighting, you have to act quickly. No hurry, even if you don't have those materials, you can study it, just like these. Alvia showed Shin Luo the back of the wooden box containing the jade charms, where there were rows of unintelligible texts on it. It seems that the two characters are different. Shin Luo compared it and found the clue. On several occasions, Shin Luo had the urge to directly ask the system to help translate these words, such as those on the historical text, on the jade symbols, and on the back of the wooden box. But in the end, the system's quotation was bluffed. The system is an unscrupulous profiteer, but translating a text is too expensive. Shin Luo has a backbone, even if he is internally injured by curiosity, he will never encourage the arrogance of the profiteer system. Well, this kind of text is a universal text thousands of years ago, I can understand it. But these texts are not complete, there should be a total of 4 pieces of this jade symbol and the corresponding wooden box. I don't know when. Alvia took out a pair of eyes and put them on, with the look of disguise now, really a little handsome. Shin Luo almost bends. What to do next, you say? Shin Luo handed the jade talisman over. Since Alvia is not in a hurry, he can't force her to return to O'Hara. Ah, why is it so ice? Alvia, who got the jade talisman, almost threw it away. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The subject just now is a frozen demon fruit power. Shin Luo replied casually, and on the marine fleet a few days away from Chateau's island, someone who had just dreamed of being woken up with facial paralysis sneezed involuntarily. Actually, I still have a few clues and relics to look for. I was hunted down before and I didn't have enough strength to dare to go. Now it's different with you. You won't be unwilling to do it. Alvia's tone cannot be refused. Shin Luo nodded and expressed casualness. With his strength, adventure can be a honeymoon. Alvia Asia Pacific underestimated him. Advertisement. Now that the jade amulet has been obtained, the purpose of this trip has been achieved. Shin Luo and Alvia plan to return to the banquet. Leaving for too long can still arouse suspicion. Before closing the hidden grid, Shin Luo found a fake jade symbol and wooden box from the system. This kind of copycat is generally the price of cabbage, and the fake one is exactly 100 points. When Shin Luo and Alvia returned to the banquet was only halfway through. Most of the representatives of the forces have been disguised by disguise. Except for a relatively good relationship, most of them are in charge of their own affairs. So Shin Luo and Alvia appeared from the corner without attracting much attention. But there are surprises in everything. Some people's ability to attract bees and butterflies has nothing to do with gender. Good-looking boy, I don't know if I'm lucky enough to know your name. Don't think that this is going to Alvia, who is in a disguised state. The fat Shin Luo has nothing to do with the term handsome. Before, various noble ladies and ladies came to Alvia, Shin Luo was very tasty, because the easy-to-tolerant Alvia women are also very popular. This time it was different. Shin Luo looked at the visitors and laughed unkindly. No way, it was a male who came to harass Alvia this time, although he looked feminine. Shin Luo previously thought that the she-males in Pirate World were all like Ivan, a creature with spicy eyes with long legs and a beard, wearing silk stockings and lipstick. This time Shin Luo finally saw something fresh. At least you don't need to be blind a few more times. Anyway, there is a gay guy who wants to pull the chain of his wife's pants. I'm sorry, I'm just this gentleman's servant. You should have asked my master to agree with me before answering you. Alvia said so. In a corner invisible to outsiders, the dragon claw hands of women furiously twist the meat on Shin Luo's waist. Shin Luo, who received the order, would naturally not let the man in front of him tease his wife again, not to mention that this person is still gay. But before Shin Luo could speak, the feminine man took the lead to say, "You fat pig is the master of this beautiful man. Be acquainted, If you don't want to die, hand over your servant. You are not qualified to have such a beautiful thing. Quote. Advertisement. It's too hot. In order to boost morale, the feminine man raised his voice a lot. Not only Chin Luo and Albia, but many people around him heard it. Everyone opened their mouths wide. He, Chin Luo, was threatened because of jealousy. The other party is a man, but the goal is Albia, who turns into a man. It depends on something wrong in the middle. The news spread all over the banquet instantly like the wind. Chin Luo once again became one of the protagonists of the banquet, and was watched by the melon-eating crowd in a way that he absolutely didn't want. I don't accept threats, you demon. Chin Luo was very upset, because of such embarrassing things being watched is as disgusting as eating a fly. Do you dare to reject me? Know who I am. Those who reject me are dead. The feminine man's voice became sharper. With that, he grabbed Chin Luo with one claw. The nails on his hands are very long, sharp and have a green light, which are obviously poisoned. Chin Luo used to see one and eliminate one of these people who would kill him if they didn't agree with each other. This time, it was not good to change his identity and kill him at the banquet, but he just slapped it away. Eldest sister, second sister. After being shot at random, the feminine man who knew he was invincible shouted. Two fierce winds blew up and aimed at the back of Chin Luo's head and heart respectively. At the same time, the feminine man grabbed Albia. Dare to die. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtlnovel for free. Advertisement.